Whoa.
Well, bad
What do you mean
lineup.
bad lineup, Zach.
Bad lineup feels weird, man.
The
Wow.
fuck? I'm banning.
Yeah.
Never thought I would ban
this
Zach,
kid.
but...
Ban this kid. It's because
Who the fuck does Zach think he is?
He wants Inks on the tea time because Inks always reads his
Well, who doesn't
his messages at the end of the tea time, right?
I will read your messages, Zach.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You got
no, I'll be honest. I agree. Inks is way better than me. I would replace Inks with me.
Come on.
I would replace me with Inks in a second.
That's pretty feels bad, man. You can't go around saying that. You gotta believe in yourself, you know?
I do, but I believe in Inks way more.
Wow. Oh, well, okay. That's a perspective you can have. I think that's fine. Okay. I will write one for you, Roy, if you read it. There you go. So Zach will hook you up. Then it will be a good lineup. Then it's a good lineup all of a sudden. So, tea time has arrived, guys. This was like, just thrown together at the last second. Wasn't sure if I was going to do it, but, here we are. Here we are. And what a wonderful array of people we have. Okay. Good lineup. Feels good, man. See? Feels okay, man, in fact. Now, today... we answer the question that we've all been asking, okay? And it's a very important one, especially for the audience we have here, and perhaps the Twitch audience in general. Is why should ArenaNet focus on non-casual content? Okay, why? And when I say non-casual content, I mean stuff that isn't living world, open world, story-based content. And under the umbrella of non-casual, I would bring into that stuff like raids, fractals, PvP, world versus world, that sort of thing. Even though you can play those casually, right? That's what I would define as content that has the potential to be played non-casually, right? That's kind of
why does living world have to be casual though? Can it be like they just make living world not casual?
Man, if you make living world hard, those casuals are gonna have a rough day.
Yeah.
Those rangers with the bear pet ain't gonna do so hot.
Well, Heart of Thorns was considered not casual. That was considered pretty difficult content.
Yeah.
Pocket rap.
It was. It was very hard.
Yeah.
I still haven't finished it.
I really liked Heart of Thorns, so when the new map was kind of like Dragon Stand, I was kind of hopeful that it was more like the Heart of Thorns difficulty, but it ended up not being like that.
Yeah, it's really easy, right?
I'll be honest, Teapot, I haven't been asking myself that question at all.
Really? Why not?
Well, I love casual content. In fact, I hope they continue to make more.
Yeah.
I don't want them to make... In fact, I'm very upset that the Sky Scale, I can't just log in and get it.
The Sky Scale, man.
Listen, I now work 50 hours a week. I don't have time, nor do I want to, first of all, but I don't have time to play Guild Wars 2 every day. And I don't have time to play it for several hours a day. All I want is to log in and just have stuff sent to me. That I don't care about the game. I don't care about raids. I don't care about fractals. I don't care about World vs. World. I don't care about GVG. I don't care about PvP. I don't care about any of that shit. I just want shiny items. And there you go. So the more casual content, the better, as far as I'm concerned. My perfect game, my dream game is every 3 months they put out an hour worth of content, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
So I'm more than happy with that.
Yeah.
And I will buy hundreds of thousands of gems a week because that's what I want.
Hundreds of thousands of gems a week.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, to kind of to start the conversation with what Vallun was saying is like, why can't the open world be casual? Because I suppose that is kind of the bulk of the content. It's very likely to always be the bulk of the content. And when there was some level of difficulty and challenge to the open world, there was massive resistance to it, and they ended up nerfing it into oblivion, like really, really hard, right? Like, Chat Garant got nerfed, Octovine got nerfed, stuff like that. Did Dragon Stand get nerfed? I'm not sure if it did. Don't think so.
Harder? What was harder about them? I wasn't here before.
Just more HP and stuff, particularly Chat Garant. Chat Garant they claimed was scaling incorrectly, but they nerfed it because it was too hard. Chat Garant used to actually be difficult. Okay, certainly on HRT launch, it failed a lot, and you would have groups. I would say it was even similar to Triple Trouble, as you would have groups in voice, right, coordinating, right. Oh, what has happened there?
And there was kind of like this rush and this mystery to like what you would get for beating the event, right? Because until then, no one had.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Triple Trouble still fails like all the time, daily.
Triple Trouble is great, and it's a really good example of how the open world could be done right. You know, it's an excellent event. But it's a shame that it doesn't really go that way. But and I think at Guild Wars 2, it's completely okay for Guild Wars 2 to cater to that majority casual audience, right? And have the open world for that space. And I in a way, I think it is good to have this separation between the gamers, like almost like a bit of a slight segregation in the player base in that regard. So, you know, the open world is the more casual stuff, and then next up you have stuff like raids and fractals, which is a little bit more. Then you have PvP, which is obviously going to attract a slightly more, typically a more hardcore player. World versus World is kind of a hybrid, right? I think you can play World versus World very casually, but you can also play it very hardcore as well. But the question is here is, you know, what does ArenaNet have to gain from focusing on those game modes a little bit more? Because as it stands, Roy, fuck you saying it, dude. Okay, why are you trying to shut this down? Look, that's not the answer I'm looking for, buddy. Okay, come on.
I'm sorry. Can I try again?
Yeah, you can try again.
Okay, almost nothing.
Oh my god, get off this podcast.
Is that better?
I'm glad he's leaving in 1 hour. Holy shit. Yeah.
This is why I got kicked off the PvP team.
Yeah, it's exactly
TeaTime was like, Roy, we got to practice for the ATs. And I was like, I really got to finish my daily reviver, man. Like, it's not going to revive itself, you know? You know, I've been spending 3 hours on it so far. I'd really like to finish it, you know? And all right.
No.
So, you know.
Now,
of course they gain stuff from making hardcore content. Are you kidding me? Look, 90% of the population are people that, you know, wear Velcro on their shoes or whatever, and they don't
Wow.
they don't play the game, okay? And you know, I'm one of those casuals now. By the way, I'm one of those casuals. I guess I said I'm a casual player, and I'm happy to admit it. But the other 10% of people who actually play this game, right? Who actually play this game and put hours in and keep the community alive. Those are the players that you should be giving content to, and they don't get any content at the moment. So what you gain by creating hardcore content and content that's going to keep those players playing is you keep your community alive. And I think community should be very important in an MMO, especially, you know, in Guild Wars 2. I mean, that's what everyone says. You know, Guild Wars 2, it's the best community. But if the community is dead, well, they can't really have the best community, can it?
Yep, that's a very solid point. I think the other thing is the argument I would go with is also the replayability thing, right? You know, it is all about replayability, and it's something that the game really lacks to a certain extent. I mean, if you actually look at what you can do in the latest patch with Dragonfall, the replayability thing there is the map, right? Like, that's what you can do over and over and over again, and that's, you know, the only piece of replayable content we've had in 6 months. Actually, right? And when you put it like that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's really not that good, is it? It's, you know, that's a little bit awkward there. And this is an MMO, right? It is effectively a grinding game. No matter what you say about MMOs, they do ultimately boil down to a fair bit of grinding and just doing, you know, repeating activities. Whether that, again, that, you know, that can be anything, right? But that's where those more hardcore game modes really come into their own, right? Like PvP is a game mode that it's just been kind of left to rot there, right? It's like, you know, the unloved child of ArenaNet, and it's still going, right? It is slowly deteriorating, but it's still going because it does have that infinite replayability to it. And the same is true for World versus World.
Here's what I would say. Both World vs. World and PvP are game modes that will attract, as you mentioned, there's more competitive players. Obviously, yes, World vs. World is a very casual game mode. You can play it very casually, but yes, you can also play it competitively. And those game modes will attract those players, and they will also give you a lot of replayability, because those are game modes that you can play every single day and not get bored, because even if you're doing the same thing, it's, you know, a lot of World vs. World is about the fights, and the fights, you know, you can fight and you can fight and you can fight, and it's not going to get boring, because you're still going to be fighting it. You can flip these keeps, you can fight over these keeps and stuff. And again, obviously, hopefully they add more sort of goals and things to do in World vs. World to keep things interesting and fresh. The problem is both PvP and World vs. World, as you just said, have kind of been forgotten, and they don't get updated constantly. The only updates that really happen consistently, and again, they're very far and few between as it is the living story updates. Every few months, we get, you know, a living story update. And, you know, for living story, for the casual players, for the people who exclusively play that content, that's fine. And that's more than enough. But for everybody else who doesn't play that content exclusively, the rest of the game is very, very stale, and it does not get updated, and it's not fresh, and it's not fun to play the same stuff again. You don't want to, I mean, you can't play the same 6 raid wing for 3 years every single day and enjoy it. I don't know how you could do that. I certainly couldn't. I don't
People
think you
don't
do.
like to play the same stuff, but then
I'm not saying
why
they
are
don't.
people playing Classic WoW?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't talk about WoW. I've never
The
played
same stuff? Well, it's not the same stuff. Well, if you know the classic WoW, Vallun, you were saying before the stream that classic WoW is a great example of appealing to a slightly more hardcore audience. But I mean, it's not really the same thing. I mean, a lot of people never really experience classic, which is why they're gonna go into it and play that, right? Oh my. Nice chat. You know, we should you know when we should bring Bick in like when Roy leaves. That would be fucking high energy actually. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah.
Go for it, man.
I mean, classic WoW is effectively new, right? Like a lot of people who've played it have never played it before, right? So it is going to be fresh to those players. And there's there's a fair amount of grinding there, but I think with regards to classic WoW, one of its biggest factors is it's a much more social experience, right? Okay, it is a very community driven game because you don't have a choice. Guild Wars 2, the casual content in Guild Wars 2 is not community driven, right? Like it's quite ironic actually that the hardcore content in Guild Wars 2 is actually what drives the community. Like you have the raid community, right? You have the PvP community, the world versus world community. You don't have an open world community, right? And in fact, this is a genuine tragedy.
Is there not one?
Well,
it is, but it's so fragmented and tiny. Like there's like guilds that run metas on one map, and it's like six.
Why?
But they're all quitting as well. They're all quitting.
Yeah,
too.
there was that one group that ran Triple Trouble like all the time, and they recently quit, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what they were called. There was that TeamSpeak, I think, that was set up for a really long time, for years and years. They probably came from Guild Wars 1 as well, and they recently stopped like in the last year or something. So there was and there is an open world community, but yeah, it's not the same. I think you don't get the same sort of sense of community as I mean, especially before World versus World lost all of its server pride. That was the strongest sense of community. I would say.
Oh yeah,
because you're literally fighting for your server, and you don't have that anymore, and that's a shame.
And I think that this is where conflict is really important. I think conflict and player-driven experiences is really important in maintaining community and MMOs. And this is really exemplified in World versus World because it's political, right? You know, to describe it like that, it's a bit, you know, there is drama between the players, right? And that sustains the community. It keeps the game alive. And you know, to this day, that dynamic is probably the only reason World versus World is not completely dead, right? That's pretty much it. That's the only reason, because it certainly hasn't been developed for a very long time, and you never know. Alliances, it's probably going to take a while. Might be 2030, guys. Maybe it's going to be 2050, 2100, that sort of thing. I will eventually get it, but the longevity of the game is sustained by the player base and player-driven interactions, which is very much why people still play EVE Online. It's why people want to play Classic WoW, because the content makes itself. And in a way, here's another thing, a really big advantage for ArenaNet really, is that you don't have to actually update the game to give content in a way. Like the players generate their own fun and their own content by interacting with each other, right? You know, you put the players in the sandbox, right, which is World versus World, and PvP. Like PvP is in a way a little bit sandboxy. You could make your own compositions, right? You can do 5v5s, you can play ATs, right? There's a large degree of freedom, right, in how you approach the game and interact with other players. And because you play against other players, the experience is not static, right? It's going to change, and you can even force it to change in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of getting at before the stream when I said, like, the worse you design your game, the more content it is. Like, for example, in Classic WoW, they have like the tagging system. So like if you tag a mob, then no one else can get credit for that. And that's like kind of a bad design, right? Because it doesn't allow like interacting with other players. But if you actually think about it, it does create interaction with other players because you're forced to group up with other players so that you can share mobs. And then like, instead of just going around and just tagging all the mobs you can, like in Guild Wars 2, you're actually forced to party, and then you end up having these relationships later on with these players that you've partied up with.
Oh, you're talking about in WoW?
Yeah, talking about
in WoW.
Okay, right, okay.
Well, and Guild Wars 2 a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you're not really forced to party up in Guild Wars 2, though, right?
We're not in Guild Wars 2. No, not at all. Yeah, I think this is one of my favorite things that I say these days is what Mr. Wooden Potatoes said. He said that Guild Wars 2 is playing alone together. You know, it's you don't really interact with anyone, right?
It's almost like quality of life is like quality of AI or something. You know, it's not actually making the game better. It's making it better for solo players. Right?
Yeah.
Like the more convenient the game is, the less you have to like a reason to play it. So, and that's why Guild Wars 2 is probably so unpopular, because it's so convenient.
I think that's definitely a part of it. I mean, it's very odd to the idea of like an ultra casual MMO, but I do think it's fine. I think it will be completely okay to have open world as it is and just leave it. But I just think that ArenaNet would greatly profit in actually maintaining some of the less casual players, right, in playing PvP and World vs. World, because not only do those things they draw attention to the game, right? And if you draw attention to the game, you get more casual players anyway. Like even most players, even in PvP and World vs. World, are overwhelmingly casual, right? And that's not, I'm not aiming that at Guild Wars 2. That's just at video games in general. Most people who are going to play World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, whatever, are going to be casual players, right? That's just the nature of the beast. But one of the best ways to draw in players is to generate hype and excitement around the game. And I'm sorry, guys, you aren't going to do that with a Skyscale. You're not going to do that with a map that people literally beat first time, like while borderline AFK and like auto-attacking everything. That's not how you generate excitement around the game. But how what you can do is have stuff like Heart of Thorns, right, where the world is dangerous, right? You've got new classes in the mix, right? You have you've got raids coming through. You've got new fractals coming through. You've got hell, you've got a PvP esports league, which is pretty exciting, right, as well. Like, that's how you generate some hype around the game and bring it back. And a lot of people will say, you know what, Guild Wars 2 is old. Guild Wars 2, you can't do this anymore. Well, hey, why don't you go ahead and check the Twitch stats for Classic WoW, okay? Like, old games can do very, very well. And games can make a recovery.
Shut up and have like 60K viewers or something.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. Fortnite was revived as well. It used to be like pretty unpopular until they...
Fortnite was actually revived just recently because they stopped making it easy for casuals. I'm not even kidding. Ninja was speaking about it on his stream.
No, I mean, even before that, right? When they first added the Battle Royale game mode, right? That's when it actually became popular.
That too. Yeah, they made it too easy or they were penalizing veterans and making it too easy for new players. And then it became harder and harder and harder to play the game if you were good. And then people started to quit. And then Kingbok and Ninja were like, look, if you don't allow us to... If someone's new and they're bad, we're going to destroy them. You have to let that happen. Like, you can't give someone, a carrot for being trash at the game. They have to get beat to get better. Yeah. And they fix some stuff, and you have to have that in the game. You have to have the balance.
Yeah. Go ahead, Roy.
I was just going to say, so, it seems like most of us are on the same page in terms of, we would like more sort of hardcore content. So what would that look like? I mean, for PvP, what do they need to do? Is it just more tournaments? Is that everything?
I think with regards to PvP, it's just having some development time. And there are some great examples of this. I think the balance is very lacking. I think issues are not addressed quick enough. And I also think they're far too timid with balancing the game in general. I would say that's across all game modes.
Yes, I completely agree.
But PvP is the obvious example that you'd bring this up in, like, was where balance is obviously paramount, right, to the game mode, and World versus World as well, but perhaps a little less so. And also, let's talk about the actual features of the game, right? Like, I think new maps and maps with secondary objectives to keep the gameplay fresh is really important, and we do see that. But hell, let's develop Jin's Dominion. Like, why is that not in ranked, right? Hell, why is Spirit Watch not in ranked?
It's going to be in ranked soon, isn't it? Didn't Ben or somebody, I don't want to obviously misquote Ben, I believe somebody said that they were adding Jin's Dominion, like either the next season or the season after to ranked.
Oh, nice. Well, good. Yeah, then let's keep doing it.
I don't think that's good. I think the map sucks, but...
Oh. Well, okay. Well, in that case, then it needs development time to fix it then, right? Let's fix the map and let's get it in the game. And that will keep the gameplay fresh, and then just keep going from there. Like, rework these maps that aren't popular. And also, Swiss tournaments. Like, why is Swiss tournaments? What's going on there, right?
They need Swiss for ATs, 100%.
Now, what is happening here, guys, right, with regards to these tournaments? Why is it that it's been what, nearly 2 years, I think, And Swiss was supposed to come in 2018 rather, and it's now we're nearly halfway through 2019, and it's for effectively a change that's just like shuffling some UI elements around. Now, I understand that that's not exactly, it's easier said than done, but this is ridiculous.
Year and a half?
This is just it's madness. Like it shouldn't take that long to get this done, and this is the stuff that's really important.
We could say, okay, they were doing all these side projects or whatever, and we didn't know about it, and that's why nothing happened. Fine. But now that, apparently they're not doing all that anymore, we should see more content, right? We should see more development for the rest of the game. And again, like I said, they could keep the living story cadence the way it is, as far as I'm concerned, because I think that the majority of people who exclusively play that content are happy. I don't think any of them have issues with it. And if they start, they leave that alone, and then they start focusing on developing the rest of the game, the PvP scene, the World vs. World scene, maybe support GVG, the raid scene, the fractal scene, and they start actually developing and stuff.
You're misinterpreting the layoffs though, because it wasn't just the extra projects that were laid off. It was also people who were working on Guild Wars 2 that were laid off too, and then they consolidated.
Of course.
So it's probably going to be about the same amount of content. Well,
but that means that nothing's going to change, because why did they stop working on those side projects? Because they weren't doing good enough in Guild Wars 2. And if nothing changes, then they're still not going to be doing good enough in Guild Wars 2. So the game's just going to die if that's, if that's the trend we're going for. Something has to change.
And I want to play devil's advocate here, okay? And the game won't die. And to be honest, the game doesn't need us. It doesn't need the hardcore scene. Honestly, it doesn't need PvP or World versus World or raids at this point. These game modes are effectively window dressing at this point. Okay, the whole point is that we have to convince ArenaNet that we are worth something, but realistically, we're actually completely unnecessary as it stands right now.
Yeah, but again, like I said, I think that's not true. Like what I said at the beginning, without community, what is your game?
Guild Wars 2 is a very special case. Guild Wars 2 is a very special case.
No, I'm not saying the game will die without us. It won't. The casuals will keep it alive. But again, I just don't think the game will really exist outside of a couple casual players logging in every now and then. And that's if that's what they want for the game, fine. But I think that's sad as fuck, because it's a great game, and I think having that community established and alive and thriving would be awesome. And again, as you were mentioning, attract more players, and that's going to keep the game, going. And that's what you want those hardcore players for. Again, they're going to be the ones keeping the community alive, not the casual players, not 90% of the population, the other 10% that actually play and actually have communities going. That's what keeps the game alive, in my opinion. And obviously, I'm a little biased because that's what I would prefer, and I like interacting with the community. You're not going to see one of those casual players come on TeaTime, obviously, but I just, I think it's a real shame if they don't develop for this part of the community, for this part of the player base, because I think those are the real players of the game. Not to disparage casual players. Again, I'm basically one of them at this point, but that's not really your player base, in my opinion.
I don't know. I hate to say it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think you said it all there, right? I mean, yeah, like even if the hardcore scene completely dies and it all completely dies, then it doesn't really make much difference to the bottom line for Arena. I think the player base is 95% are just the casual players. They just do a lot of open world and maybe mess around and do a very casual fractal or a easy raid balls or something like that, right?
Do you think that the population has always been like that?
No, I think it's shifted more towards that greatly, actually. Right. I think
so. Do you think
go ahead.
It would shift back if they started developing more for that hardcore population?
You know what? That is a question that I really wish you hadn't asked, because I'd actually tend to say no.
It's really kind of hard to go back, because a lot of the systems that they've added to the game have kind of prevented that. So, like, for example, fractals used to be actually really hardcore, because you couldn't do, if anyone remembers when they first came out, you couldn't do fractal level like 18 unless you had actually done 1 through 17 yourself, right? So you had to get these like groups of people who were like farming them, and then it was really hard to find groups, right? But that made it more hardcore, to be honest. But now it's like you can just go into level 100 and you've never done a fractal before, right? So like,
well, but you're still gonna have a rough time if you do that, right? Because you don't have any AR, I assume.
I mean, you can still do level 100 and have teammates that look like they've never done a fractal before and play with mine.
I don't fractal much. So
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
it's way more casual.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree, but what I was saying, I wasn't saying like we're gonna go back to the first 2 years of Guild Wars 2 or something. What I was saying was, if you start developing for that, I think you will have the player base shift a little bit. Like, I think a lot of those hardcore players would come back because, again, what other game has an RVR mode that is successful? Really? I mean, ESO a bit, right?
Well, yeah, that work though with frame rate that are popular.
Right.
There's not one out there. Like we had this debate on my stream the other day. BDO tries to do it, but you go watch a BDO stream, it's literally 2 frames per second. They're loading, they're DCing. It doesn't.
I mean, there were a ton of people playing World vs. World at the beginning of the game, and for like the first 3 or 4 years. I mean, a lot. There were a lot of people that used to play this game that don't anymore. That I genuinely think would come. And this is where we're going to tie into alliances. Nice, good memes there. A lot of those people would have came back for alliances, I think, if it had been released. Because when it got announced, I really think a lot of those people that left, that used to just pretty much play World vs. World, would have come back when alliances got announced, at least just to try it. I don't know that they would stay, but at least they would try it. And a lot of those players would continue to play the game if the game was more developed and stuff. And again, it wouldn't shift it back to what the population was like, in terms of hardcore versus casual the first couple years of the game, but it would start to shift it back. And you wouldn't be losing more players, in my opinion. But you could be right. Maybe they don't care. Maybe the only way they're going to make money ever is to develop for casuals. That's sad. If that's the case, then all right. I guess it's a good thing I don't play this game anymore very much.
Yeah.
But
well,
I think that would be really sad.
I agree with you. And on some level, I think you are right. The player base would start to shift back, but it would have to be quite the concerted effort from ArenaNet. Like what would be required for the player base to return, in my opinion, would be like consistent improvement. That's the thing, right? It can't just be temporary. And a lot of the times, it sometimes feels that ArenaNet just kind of just like go, there you go, right, and then just don't do anything for a very long time, right? You know what I mean? And I don't know. I really, really hope that you're right and that ArenaNet do kind of make the swing back with alliances. I think that would be a really great thing. But to be frank,
3 years.
like what I really think we need to see, if you want to see the player base swing back, then it can't just be alliances, right? There are so many things that are going to kind of block the game from swinging back in the more hardcore direction, I think. And with World vs. World, I would say it's definitely the balance. I think it's really held back by how unfun certain specializations
balance and
are.
Population imbalance, which obviously is what Alliance is aimed at. But
alliances will fix that. But in a way, the Warclaw is a great example of this, in my opinion. I think the Warclaw really showed that you can get people into World versus World, right? You can get people to click on that button, right? Okay, to enter the game. You can, right? A lot of people wanted that.
Sure, but it didn't matter at all.
Yeah, but why? Because they didn't like it. And why didn't they like it? Because I think, especially as a new player,
they didn't really play it. I don't think that the Warclaw really made people play World versus World. Even they flipped a camp, a tower, and a keep, and they did a reward track like that.
They gotta play it a while to get the reward track finished. I mean, you're not finishing in an hour.
A few hours,
8 to 10.
Yeah, that should be enough to show people if they like it, to make them try it, right?
No, I don't agree at all. The reason that I liked World versus World when I started getting into it was, again, this sense of like community and this sort of like the strategy and like the desire, the motivation to beat other servers. That's what got me into it. Because when I started playing World vs. World, I was literally in World vs. World doing my dailies. And then I started working with like the commander. I got on TeamSpeak with the tag, and I started playing with these guys. I joined their website, their forums and stuff. I was like, wow, this is a huge community. Like, and this exists on every single server. And that was so cool. And this server wants to beat that server this week. And then the next week, we're going to try to beat this server. And we're going to keep on trying to climb. And then we had the seasons and we pushed really, really hard to get first place in silver at that point. And that's what attracted me to it. That's why I was playing 8, 10, 12 hours of World vs. World every single day and leading all the time. Not because I went into World vs. World for 8 hours and did a reward track to get a fucking mount that doesn't do anything for the game mode. And on top of that, I don't think 99.99% of those players that went to World vs. World for the mount did not come back. And they didn't care about playing World vs. World. They probably didn't get on TeamSpeak. They probably didn't get in, like, really communicate with the squad. They karma trained for a few hours and that was it. And that's not world versus world as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that did anything for world versus
Well,
world.
no, that's kind of where I was going. That's like, yeah, it's true that, but the point is that you can get people to try it at least, right, or at least play a little bit. And what I'm saying is the reason it didn't work is because I think that for new players, the world versus world experience is a bit shit. Okay, you're going to go into it. You've got no idea what you're really supposed to be doing. You're going to get absolutely flattened by people who are playing, loads of Scourges and Firebrands. Right, you're going to get obliterated. And to be honest, like, if you're new into World versus World, the meta is probably the least fun if it's ever been, probably. Well, except for something like the really obnoxious Boon Share Chrono stuff back in the day.
Even if you're right, even if you can get people to click in World versus World, it doesn't matter because they will not experience World versus World in a good way at all. Especially, again, with the current meta, with the current sense or lack thereof of server pride that just hardly exists at all anymore, with the very, very fractured community, with the very, very low population. Who cares? Again, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you can get people to go into World vs. World for a day, but in the long term, that does not affect it at all, and it doesn't matter. And they're not going to stay around if World vs. World is not fun or enjoyable, and it's not.
Well, yeah, and this is what I'm trying to get at here, is that if you want to get the player base to swing back, all of these issues have to either be addressed in the right order or at the same time.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
And what's happening here is that they were addressed in the wrong order. And this is what I think ArenaNet really lacks, is a plan, is vision, right? The Warclaw, I'm not a big fan of mounts, okay? Not a big fan of mounts. And I think the mount was actually a really good idea, but it was just not at the right time, right? Like, they needed to fix the balance, then do the mount, right? Make the game mode fun for new players, then add the mount. That baits people in, they start playing, right? Okay, now, the mount, it turns out, was pretty inconsequential. Like, I think the mount was done well. It doesn't really affect the balance. Even its original state really wasn't imbalanced, in my opinion. It didn't actually change World versus World, right? Which is good, right? So
yeah, I think it affected roaming more than World versus World as a whole.
Yeah, like roaming a tiny bit, and ganking in particular. Like, it affected ganking, right? Is what it affected. So that's fine, in my opinion. I don't care about gankers.
Sorry to all the roamers.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are
the mount should have 1 HP. It ruined roaming.
Yeah, I think it's sad. It again, I'm saying that's the theme of today's tea time for me. It's sad. Because roaming used to be a lot of fun, but it just
still is, except for you get a Warclaws chasing you down.
Yeah. The only thing that's fun about roaming is when you find other roamers. Like, it's like you engage in this like agreement to fight each other. But that's not what was fun about World v World. It was the conflict of like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy, but like I'm kind of like forced to, or like, yeah, we're gonna gank this guy because he's doing this, right? Like, that's the whole fun of it. But now it's just like, it's just all like scripted, right?
Yeah.
I think,
but what I was going to say is you shouldn't really ever, again, no offense to the roaming community, they're just way too small, I think, to really try to like balance for or develop for. You can't, I don't think, really develop or balance for the roaming community.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but considering it exists inside of World versus World, it's just impossible.
Exactly, and it should, the core gameplay of World vs. World is effectively the fighting, right? That's what we all want to see, really, and that's what we all like.
Yeah.
Most of us anyways. And I think roaming, again, it has become a little bit more scripted, but it turns like surely in a way, like the best part of it was having fights that were actually enjoyable, right? I mean, like, I've between PvP, I like run around and roam a little bit, I suppose you could say, in World vs. World. And I haven't really been bothered by the Warclaw, but that's my personal experience. Obviously, it hasn't bothered me. I guess it's because I'm Necro. I can't get away anyway. Like, it makes no difference. But still, I think
got to put that signet on, man. You're out of there.
Oh, that Locust, yeah. Then you're going to be the Speed Lord. You're going to be the Speed Lord. This is my problem with ArenaNet and why a few changes here and there is not good enough. It needs to be like a concerted effort, and I mean, that is what I think is unlikely. The population will not swing back towards more hardcore players unless there is actually a plan, right? You can't just develop randomly for a game mode. You need to have a very a very concerted effort with a clear vision on what you want the game mode to do and be, right? And then if you push the game in that direction, then that's what can happen. But just like suddenly, oh yeah, here's a mount. Oh, here's alliances. Oh, here you go. Here's this. Here's that, right? Oh, here's some more rewards. Like that isn't
Honestly,
good enough, I don't think.
At this point, I would love if they were just like, oh, here's alliances. Because it's,
Well, yeah, I
been a little while.
Yeah, I know. And that's the other thing, right? Okay.
But yes, you're absolutely right. I agree.
Yeah, it needs to be a lot of things all at the same time, effectively. Like you need to, or some. Well, I mean, what I said,
we just need to know it's happening. Like we like they send out alliances and they're like, okay, next month we're going to work on rewards, and then the next month after that we're going to fix balance. Like, all right, that's fine with me. That'll get me playing for 2 months, and then more. But we don't know. We haven't had an update on alliances in how long?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think I am allowed to say this because Ben said it in Twitch chat. He has said that there is actually a post coming relatively soon regarding World versus World. Anyway, so
I don't think it has to do with alliances personally, but okay.
Well, yeah, maybe not. Yeah, but we'll see about that. So there is some news coming relatively soon. But again, as you say, it's just like how long has this taken? Right? It's absurd how long this stuff takes.
And it's not just World vs. World; it's all of it. Wing 7, we don't even have a release date, right? I know you were thinking it was coming out either next week or the week after, but that hasn't been confirmed, right?
Yeah, and well, and this is like a bit of a side topic, right? But the promised communication, about that hasn't really come through, has it? Unfortunately, and it seems that after and this is the thing about ArenaNet, right? Okay, they do one post, right, from Mike Z and say, yep, that's enough. We've communicated now. Okay, see you in 6 months, everyone. It's like, come on, man, that's not good enough. You can't just do that. Can't do it once, right? You gotta keep it going. Well, I think me and Roy have said enough. Let's just bring in the other half of the tea time.
I mean, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. But go.
we need to bring in the other half, and one thing that I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on is, well, for a start, like from a motivation point of view, do you guys think that we can? How can we get a financial incentive here? Okay, it's capitalism, guys. ArenaNet want that cash. How do we monetize stuff like raids, PvP, and World versus World? That's what I want to know. How do we get that cash going?
Oh, Vallun's very good at getting money from other people, dude.
Yeah?
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Every one of his streams, dude, send me Black Lion keys. And he gets them.
I think like your original point of just like updating them and getting people to play, because people, I mean, this is a silly point, but it makes sense. Like in PvP, when a lot of people are playing it, and you have like Roy's like a really good Firebrand, TeaPot's a really good Scourge, Vallun is the alpha, right? Like you have your players. There's going to be other players like that they want to stand out. So they're going to swipe. They're going to buy gems. They're going to buy the scarf. They're going to do that. And they want to, I mean, even doing something is that simple, but putting players that want to like look different, go into the PvP hall. People literally like me and Naru have a little like joke running aside each other, but we'll like get our outfit basically decked out and be like, check this out. We got something from the cash shop. We got something in game we grinding for. I know that sounds silly, but like, I mean, I'm an example. I'm swiping for it. I'm doing it. I'm bait. Like I've fallen for it. So if I'm doing it, there's got to be people like me doing it. I'm doing it for that reason. But you put more people in there, more people want to stand out and separate from one another. You're just going to get. I know it's a small point,
don't you do this for like a living? Like you make businesses better. You got to do this for.
Well, I buy businesses.
Can you buy ArenaNet, dude?
Yeah.
we could buy ArenaNet is
all right. Envy CEO. Let's go, boys.
Right.
CE Envy.
I would walk in there and oh my god, all the casual people. I would be like, listen, you can't.
You're out. You're out.
You can't come back to the office until you clear Doom CM. We'll see him. We'll see who shows up next week.
Oh yikes, dude.
No, but to be frank though, guys, I think this is the hard question to answer though, because ultimately Guild Wars 2 will be driven. They're a business, they're a company, they're driven by profit, and how is it worth it for them to invest all this time in these game modes that have relatively low engagement, right? Is it because like there's some kind of meta benefit to it because it raises the profile of the game, so more people play the game overall, then they buy more stuff in the gem store overall? Do those players on average spend more? In fact, it may actually be the case that they kind of spend less, right? Because they actually don't need to buy gems, or they don't need to buy gems in order to do this stuff, right? They simply can grind out the gold, right? They don't need to spend money, right? So that would almost be like a counter argument for like the hardcore players supporting the game more. Now, I also do think that the hardcore players probably do actually spend more. I want to say, I know I spend more than the average player, that's for sure. But
my statements.
Yeah.
Oh man,
dude!
dude.
$500 this weekend on Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
But what?
Nice.
But I'm on vacation, so like, do I want to go to the beach and or do I want to just like sit at home
Go
and stream for the people that don't like me that play Guild Wars 2? The latter.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, but no, Teapot, you're right. But like, I think also another thing is like when you're like seeing you mostly you were known to me as a PvE guy. I didn't really know you can do PvP. You're doing monthlies and stuff, and like your streams are getting hype, and people are getting into the ATs, and like, I mean, it's creating like people are getting hype in your chat, and people are watching Cinder, Tramdex, Draza, Naru, and the PvP streams seem to be doing a lot better. Like, imagine if they said, "Hey, we're bringing in Swiss. Oh, there's better rewards. Oh, there's more gizmos, but it's different. It's more of this secret armor." Like, I would love a legendary hidden behind ranked that you're not gonna get. I will never get that, but to see someone get like, damn, I need to get better. I need to try. I want to get that good. But I don't want it to be this like one little like, hey, here you go. You don't really have to do this. I want someone to be like, I am not good at this game mode, but I want to get good at this game mode because that item or that reward is just super pog, and I want to get it.
I gotta run, unfortunately. So I will leave you with this. In terms of like the money and all this, right? Do you think two things? Do you think, one, before when there was more of a hardcore population and stuff, do you think that their game was suffering in terms of like their sales? Because I don't think it was. I mean, I think probably overall, throughout the entire duration of the game, yeah, their sales have probably gone down, but that's to be expected with any game. I don't necessarily think that having more casual players necessarily means that they get more money. I could be wrong about that, but I just don't necessarily buy into that. The only people that buy gems are casual players, and just because they make up a very large majority, that they're going to be the ones spending the most amount of money. Because I mean, I've spent a lot of money. You've spent a lot of money. Envy just said he spends a lot of money. A lot of the people I think that play more and have these communities and stuff are actually spending a lot of money.
100% agree.
And the other thing is as well, why do you think they kind of swapped to this sort of more casual approach? Because there was a point where they were developing the game more and focusing more on, or at least trying to, a more hardcore experience. They had a pro league scene. They were developing world versus world. They created raids, Heart of Thorns. They included these masters and
Yeah,
stuff,
I mean,
all this stuff
all of
to
that was
get.
in Heart of Thorns.
And right. So why do you think they kind of swapped towards this casual mode? I mean, was it because they thought they could only make money from casual players, or was there something else? I don't know. Anyways,
I think it's their feedback. Go ahead. You got to go.
Yeah, I got to go.
All right, cheers, brother.
Yeah, I apologize for like talking so much, but
no,
I was only here
it's not a problem.
But,
not a problem.
I do have a message I need to read out.
Okay.
From Zach here. But yes, thank you for the tea time. Appreciate it, guys. Make sure you all follow twitch.tv/Vallun, twitch.tv/EnviouslyTV, and Twitch. Of course, while you're watching, twitch.tv/MightyTeapot. Sub for free with Twitch Prime. Yes, that's free. That's literally freer than downloading Guild Wars 2 for free. And make sure you support those streamers because they are all excellent gentlemen, excellent people, and great players, and pillars of this community. So get on that. But anyways, guys, sup my dudes, this is Casual Zork, aka the Debate Lord. Follow me on twitter.com/Delafina777 if you want to hear my take on Danland and other pressing matters of our society. I am Ghostly Infusion on YouTube, where I just released a 3-part series on the Berserker meta and a very informative video called The Hard Truth About Guild Wars 2, in which I calmly discuss the current state of the game. Sometimes I impersonate a British female and interview self-proclaimed top players. Hit the bell button to get notified when my highly anticipated Kadim raid guide comes out, or I will cry on stream. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the mists. Guys, have a lovely evening. Make sure you hit that sub button, and yeah, bye-bye.
Thanks for coming on, Roy.
That was solid. God.
Okay, but now, guys, well, prepare yourselves, okay? Hang on. Let me just hide Discord temporarily because, well, let me tell you guys something. We're bringing on the snake, okay?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Florida's finest.
Yeah, hang on. Wait. Do I have Vic as a friend on Discord? I actually don't. What? Okay, okay. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Prepare yourselves, my friends. Okay, guys, I've got some good news. Okay, he says he's 60% energy. Like I tried to, we've negotiated. Okay, Vic's a snake, 60% energy. All right, so it's not its full potential. But let's see how this one goes. Okay, here he is.
Hey guys.
Hello, Vic.
What's up, MB? What's up?
What's up, Vic?
TeaTime.
How you doing, dude?
Vallun.
Hey.
What have you got for us, Vic? What have you got?
So, I love how, and no disrespect to any of you guys, but I love how the world has turned to where we have to figure out how to make ArenaNet money. Like, who gives a fuck? We're gamers. We're players. Like, Blizzard was a company of great potential when they created games, right? When World of Warcraft started looking at all the metrics and all the systems and started treating us like we're robots, right? We're some sort of like non-human existent. We're just like pockets of money. They stopped making games. They started making things that were not playable, right? World of Warcraft has become just a sadder version of Guild Wars 2. You just walk around the world, you play it with friends by yourself, right? And the open world of RNG loot, and then you go do dungeons, which is the only thing that's fun. I mean, Envy, we can both agree the only thing that's fun about World of Warcraft is plus keys, right?
It's the only real content, in my opinion.
And the only real content is content that is actually taking skill with teams, right? So the only thing that takes skill with teams is the only thing that's fun. Then why are they developing these systems that's killing the games? Well, I'll tell you why. Because these developers are way too politically correct. They don't want to exclude anybody. They want to make everybody feel like they're welcome. They're not developing games anymore. They're just being politically correct. Everybody has to be inclusive.
I think in games, when you have the mentality that everybody eats, nobody wins. You have to have it like you have to have your people you walk on, the people you strive to be. You have to have all the layers. You can't have everybody on the same playing field, or it's not going to be fun. What do you play for?
My man.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about this then. So, Bick, do you think ArenaNet would make more money if the game had more focus, not full focus, but more focus on PvP, world versus world, raids, etc.? Can ArenaNet make more money by doing that than it is right now?
ArenaNet needs to have idols to create a fire to make players strive. Like, why the fuck does everybody go watch Cinder when he goes live? Because he's an idol to somebody, right? Why do people watch me, you, etc.? Because idol. There has to be somebody look up to and be like, I want to be like him. When everybody's a loser, you log in, you do exactly what everybody else does, you log out. There's no reason to be a winner when everybody's a loser. Guild Wars 2, the loser community of all losers. There's nothing to do. So you just log in, become casual, get a scarf so you can look like Vallun. I mean, why would you want to look like Vallun?
Whoa.
Right?
Come on, man.
Whoa. Yeah. Right. You can talk shit about my stream being boring, but I will never be caught wearing a fucking scarf.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I'm on a character in game right now wearing the scarf. I'm changing it.
I heard you earlier, bro. I'm like, why the fuck would you admit that?
Holy shit.
Okay.
No, actually, like Vic just made like a really, really sound point. Yeah, I'm actually super impressed. Like I remember when I first started watching TeaTime, your streams, like you would do like Doom CM, these CM raids. Like, I mean, I'm struggling to do the normal version of them. And like I look up to you that doing that, and I want to go do it. So I want to implicate, I want to do it. I want to put it in my content.
Yeah.
So if we don't have these harder things to do, we have these people that are doing it. And like Big said, like these idols, these legends, these people that you play MMOs and you hear about, oh, did you hear that, Method did this? Let's see if our group can do that. And like, you have to have that. But like Big saying, if everyone is on the first floor and there's no other floors, well, you don't fucking care. Like you don't, good job. You
Yeah.
logged in
Now,
first.
and here's the thing. I really hate to be devil's advocate here. I really do. But
There we go.
yeah, I'm really sorry. But what if the Guild Wars 2 community just doesn't really care about that? And I think most people don't care. In the Guild Wars 2 community mostly want free rewards. They want free rewards, man.
You treat these people like they're like watermelons, dude. Like, stop it. Stop it. They're not watermelons. They're humans. They're playing an MMORPG, bro. MMORPG wasn't created when Guild Wars 2 was created. It was created a long, long time ago, right? These people come here for an MMORPG. They leave because they don't get an MMORPG. They're human beings. They want to strive. Dude, everybody plays a MMORPG called IRL. Everybody in IRL strives. If they don't make it, right? They're outside looking for help. So if you're telling me everybody plays this IRL MMORPG that strives and grinds, why wouldn't they log into a game and then strive for like 2 hours to achieve a level of their own progression? You don't have to be the best, but as long as you log in and you set goals, right? Today I'm going to log in. I'm going to get to level 30. I'm level 25. That's my goal. You log off feeling like a winner, regardless of being a loser in real life, right? So you can literally have a online life and feel like a boss, like a man, purely because you set goals, right? And you take that away.
Like, the argument is...
yeah, that's not quite the point. What I'm trying to say here, well, I think a big part of Guild Wars 2 is that a lot of people don't do what you're saying. They come here to actually get away from the other kind of MMO, you know. I think a lot of
30 days till they leave.
They don't leave though. They log out and then they come back in 3 months.
You guys keep making these players that log in once every 30 days as actual players. They're not players.
Well, they are. They're not. That's the most of the population in Guild Wars 2, dude. Like, they just play like a few hours a week and just chill and play really casually. A lot of players don't care about skill or having these idols, as you say. They don't care about, being amazing at PvP or doing these raids or anything like that. And in fact, when they do the raids, all they view them as is basically a chore, right? They just want to get the rewards and get out.
So what's the point of catering to those players when regardless they're going to log in? They don't have to do the raids. They don't have to do the PvP. They don't have to do World vs. World. The people that run the communities, like Roy said, are the ones that care, are the ones that will play. So basically, this is what happened. I already said this like 3 weeks ago. This is what happens, okay? You have 5 people on a track, right? 4 people on that track are fast athletes. 1 is eating a burger on the field, right? So what's happening now is it says ready, set, go. They all start running, right? And all 4 of them have offended the burger eating non-athlete. So what happens is they take the chainsaw, cut their fucking legs off, and now they're all crawling so they can be on the same playing field as the one that's eating a burger, and that's not an athlete. That's what you're saying right now. That goes against humanity. That has to be weak, strong, and leaders, right? That's what makes MMORPG, bro. If you take away from that aspect of MMORPG, you just have a playground of rejects. And it's not a fun community to be part of. Your community crumbles within. And if anything, it makes toxicity because there's no release. There's no outlet. How can you prove you're good? You just log around, you just log in and play in the playground. That stopped being fun when I was 5 years old.
The whole thing about Guild Wars 2 is that it is a refuge for players who don't want to have that competitiveness. They don't want to have that.
They don't have to. They don't have to. They don't have to.
Well, yeah. So if the majority of the audience for Guild Wars 2 is players who just want to chill out, don't really want to compete or anything like that, why would they cater to players who want to compete?
Because they don't have to. They can. It's like saying this: 2,500 people in my high school go to high school to learn something, right? 40 of them play football. You know what? That's not enough statistic. We're just gonna make the football team not existent because not everybody wants to play football. That's not. They don't have to. They don't have to play football.
School because it's not a football team. Even though they don't play the sport, they want to go watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they don't want to do that either, though. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
That is wrong.
Well, but no, I mean, like, okay, so like, this goes back to this report that Ian Fleming, whatever his name is, he's a big marketer over in Europe for a bunch of game companies. He worked for Cal, BD, a bunch of different companies. He posted how Twitch communities and how they move the bottom line of games, like 15 to 20% increase in a game's income through a solid Twitch community. It was insane. And if we have people that are doing these high profile things like Bick is saying, and they will create community. They create a buzz around the game through a Discord, on Twitter, on YouTube, in another MMO. I'm playing ESO, and some guy's talking about, hey, if y'all checked out Guild Wars 2, they're having this event. People be like, I'm not even into that, but what's the game look like? And they're like, oh, look, I can go get mounts, become a chef, and make food that no one's going to buy off the market board. But like, that may appeal to them. They may see something they want because of the buzz, because of players doing the harder stuff. When you have people that want to do raids, say me and you want to do raids, and we got some cool e-girls, but the e-girls want to go tame mounts, they can go do that. But they buy the game, they buy the mount skin. We got more people on. I think you have to have both. I think if you made a game full casual like Guild Wars' community mostly is, I think it won't last.
This is the reason.
Leave and there's no content creators, then why do you want to go play Guild Wars 2 if nobody's watching you play it?
This is the reason Guild Wars 2 is dead, because what's left over is this garbage community of players that don't want to do anything. The players that care, the players that ran the community, the players that actually were hardcore like myself that loved this game, right? We all threw in the towel. We let these people take over. Like, fuck it. Just go ahead. Ruin it. Burn it all down. Don't want to work. Don't work. Live off the government. Go ahead. Live off the government. Live off the rewards. Live off the Guild Wars 2 rewards.
Earlier about the goals, though, is actually pretty important.
There's no goals, bro. There's no goals in Guild Wars 2.
It is really important. Like you do kind of need, even if like you're a casual, like you can get legendary armor in the game, right? It just takes you longer, right? I think it's really important to have the what is it called? Hardcore content. So long as, like the casual players can kind of like work, they can chip at it, right? But they misinterpret like what casual means, because they just make everything like the hardcore players just get the casual stuff instantly, right? And then the casuals get it at their same speed. They need to make hardcore content accessible to casuals, just they need to work at it really long.
Yeah, and that goes back to Teapot's first statement. If you make a mount and it gets people to come into World, maybe 1% stayed, but that increased the population through adding. I think that mount was probably pre-developed. I think, didn't we find out that the mount was not from the World team? It was another team that you said, Teapot?
Yeah, it wasn't actually. It didn't use World versus World development time. Yeah.
So it's like, what if Vic is saying and Vallun saying and Teapot is that, what if there is a way to give the hardcore content that we want to strive for, we want to have a goal, we want to look up to and say, damn, I want to be able to do that CM or do that in-game raid. But what Teapot's been harping on forever, give someone a little bit of something. Like I can't believe this game is going to have an easy tank and spank boss. An easy raid that anyone could come in on any class, any build. You have one tank, one healer. Don't stand in front of it. Don't stand behind it. Attack the side legs. It's a dragon. It fits the lore. It's an easy kill.
My man. Yo, Envy, 1 second, bro. That happens at level 1. You go right to the boss, you auto attack, and that happens at level 1, Envy. What are you talking about? These players are trained to spam 1.
More.
Yeah. No. And the thing is, I have always been a massive advocate of this sort of thing. Is easy mode raids. I actually think that one of where Guild Wars 2 is currently falling down right now is that the game perhaps isn't actually accessible enough. Now, in our ideal world, yes, the players would learn, but the Guild Wars 2 player base doesn't want to learn. They want to remain casual and just to play exactly how they want. So the way you get around this is by making the content work for everyone. For example, right now, raids get beaten by less than 5% of the player base, guys. Okay, that's just fact, right? You can look this up. You can go on Guild Wars 2 efficiency, and you can see that something like less than 10% of players even have one legendary divination, guys. That's from Wing 5 and Win 6. Less than 10% have one legendary divination. That means they've beaten not even one boss. 90% have not even done one boss. Okay, it's a bit better for Wings 1 through 4, obviously, but it's not much better, actually. Right, it's not much better. Guild Wars officially is not representative of current active players. Yes, absolutely. It's actually biased in my favor. That is to say that my argument is better because a more invested, more hardcore player is more likely to have efficiency. Right, so it's actually it's over-representing hardcore players in raids. So in other words, less people than Guild Wars 2 efficiency says will have done raids. So that statistic is actually biased in my favor.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Let's be logical here. And again, Teapot, I told you, 60% energy, I'm giving you 59.
Okay.
I'm a man of my word, bro. Okay.
Yep.
Let's think logical. If I'm a working class American, right?
Okay. Yep.
And I go to work every day, 7 to 8, 9 hours a day.
Okay.
And I want to log into a game. Am I going to log into a game where I do something, I get nothing? Or do I log into a game where if I do something, eventually over time, I get something?
You might want that, but a lot of people who play Guild Wars 2 just want the rewards immediately for free.
If you're right, then all the top all the top games on Twitch right now that have the highest populations, they're not even MMORPGs, wouldn't be thriving. Like, as an MMORPG PvPer that's been running my community for almost 4 years now, I've seen my community leave MMORPG. No. They said, fuck PvP. And they literally went to other games that aren't even the same in the same game, not in the same genre, just to get competitive environment. So I'm going to literally quit MMORPGs altogether because there is absolutely nothing competitive about these MMORPGs. And I'm going to go start playing something that's going to give me pleasure of it completing and becoming a good player. And you start seeing them playing PUBG, etc., or those other games, right? Games that I suck at because I'm too old and my reflexes are too bad now. So if you're a working class American and you want to gain something, would Guild Wars 2 be the game to play? Sure. If you literally just wander around, watch a movie every 6 months for 30 minutes, jump in circles with some guildmates, and then log off. And then, unfortunately, that's not playing the game. If you log into the game for 30 minutes to do that, you're not playing the game. And that's where they're getting you. Because they're logging in doesn't mean the community is thriving. It's not.
Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely right. I don't disagree with anything you said there. But in a way, that's kind of, it's secondary to the main issue here. It's just that the community thriving is not necessary for ArenaNet making money.
And this is where I'm going to lead you, and exactly where this is going to make everybody in chat upset and yourself.
Let's go.
The truth behind what I just said is the only truth to view. And Guild Wars 2 knows that. So what they're doing is just buying time and milking you for every single dollar you have, Envy. So Envy, $500 more next week will be amazing because the game is still running on DX9, right? The game is all the way around through first player progression to raids, to story, to World of Spoil and PvP. It's all fucked up, period. It all needs a huge amounts of investment to be able to turn around and make it playable again. It won't. It's not going to turn around. They're going to ride it out till he dies. My boy Cinder said the changes they've done in PvP are irreversible. I agree with that. The way classes way classes are played, the way we are trained to play Guild Wars 2 in 2019 are irreversible. I mean, as a ranger, I press one ability, I hit you for 25k. How can I become a good player if you take that away from me? What do I have? I have to press all my abilities then. I don't want to do that. The Necro spams his face on his keyboard, makes a bunch of shit on the ground, and if it doesn't work, he just dies. He accepts that. Did the Necro like that play in the beginning? No. How can a player be good and have to relearn the entire game? They won't be. They won't have that. And Mesmer goes in stealth the entire duration, blows up. If he doesn't, he loses. But he most likely will kill a target.
Well, why is okay? Can you explain this to me then? Why is this not a problem in other games?
And specifically in one of the games, because there's not many MMORPGs standing still.
Not an MMORPG, but like there are plenty of other skill-based games, right? You would agree with that?
Which one?
Well, I don't know. Fuck it. Like League of Legends, I would say is a skill-based game.
Okay.
Like,
well, League of Legends is okay. So
why do people not get why do people not struggle to get motivated there? You could definitely argue it's a simpler game, a bit easier to learn. But hey, if you wanted to learn Guild Wars 2, you like 100 or some shit.
Okay. So 100 characters that are viable, that creates competitive PvP atmosphere.
But no one wants to play League because it's toxic as fuck.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me to play League.
Okay, but wait,
League, a lot of people play
League. But
League
is still, but wait, a lot of people still play League. More people play League than Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, a lot of people play League. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, League's also got like multi-million-dollar championships. Guild Wars 2's got a fucking 400 gem scarf.
Debate won. Envy won.
What? Look, this is the point, though, boys. Okay, this is the point. Like, we're approaching this the wrong way, is what I'm trying to say, guys. Now, and this is something. Look. My problem with the Guild Wars 2 community is that instead of actually sitting around a table and negotiating about the stuff and having a conversation, we basically just yell at each other, right? The hardcore players, the veteran players, yell at the casual players and say, get good, you're a bunch of fucking plebs, fuck you, okay?
That's
and then,
game.
on the other hand, right, the casual players also do the exact same thing. Now, in my opinion, if we want to actually get stuff done, then we need to open the dialogue, okay? We open the dialogue and we have a conversation about it and we negotiate with ArenaNet, the veterans, and the casual players. You don't go there and say, okay, like these people are, fuck these people. These people are idiots. Okay, that's not what you do here. Okay, it's not appropriate. Like I honestly think that what is lacking in actually modern society is dialogue with people who disagree on stuff. Okay, what would be conversing about exactly? Okay, now this is a great question. And it would be okay. In my opinion, the only recourse we really have with regards to Guild Wars 2 is actually to, in a way. What has happened there? My Discord's glitching out. Never mind. Okay.
We're back.
Okay, good. Okay, whoops, never mind. So the conversation would be, okay, how do we make the game more accessible to everyone? Like, how do we get people into these game modes? Okay, and I think what Bick is saying about balance is particularly good, but I also think that perhaps an intermediary before you actually get into World versus World would be a good thing. For example, I think make Edge of the Mists more meaningful, right? So people have a place to go without being flamed, without getting bashed. Like, make it worth doing there, make it worth playing. Help players understand World versus World through Edge of the Mists. Raids. Add easy mode. Make it so that even really, really casual players can get excited about a raid, okay?
When you say easy mode, are you like necessitating that there's a CM to complement that, or are you just saying easy mode only added?
Easy mode easier than like VG is like impossible for most people. You have to make it to where it's easier than that.
Yeah, it needs to be ultra. Do casuals actually want to access raids, fractals, and PvP? Of course they would. They want casual.
Isn't that just LFR then?
Yes.
Yes, we need an LFR.
Yes.
Like, WoW, you guys, Bick. I've hung out with Bick at LFR. WoW's LFR is like, there is a ton of people who do it. And then some of those people are like, yo, hey, man, you want to go to the harder versions? Sure, let's go. I got this gear. Let's do it. And then you go up harder and harder. Even make a smaller community. This community is the whole way up.
But even if they don't, though, they don't have. That's the beauty of Guild Wars 2. There's no need because everyone's playing the same raid, right? If a lot of people started playing raids, ArenaNet would develop more raids because it's popular content, right? Okay. And the thing is, if there's more raids and there's a bunch of casuals playing the raids, that's good for me as a veteran player because then they're going to develop more raids. Okay. If there's loads of casual players playing PvP, right? Then guess what? ArenaNet is going to develop PvP. That's great for me as a PvP player.
Wait, but
right?
I thought the point of this tea time was to make more hardcore content, but now you're saying more casual content.
No,
That's how you
no,
get more
no.
content.
That's how you get it.
Fucking plebs, they don't do it that way. That's what's killing
They should.
WoW.
No, they should do it that
LFR
way.
is killing WoW. Dude, LFR is killing WoW, bro. LFR is shit.
LFR is killing WoW because of the gear they're getting is too good. They need to get worse gear from it. The problem is that people like me got literally mythic level rating Titanforge gear from LFR, and they didn't even have to get it from the better version of the raid. That was dumb.
Dog,
I literally
LFR
had a
does
slot
not.
item from the lowest tier.
You guys understand? Having an MMORPG is about failing and winning as a community. You have to go outside your limits and join a community, a guild. Without a guild, MMORPGs suck.
Yeah, the LFR is basically making it into like a single player game where you barely interact with the other players that you LFR.
That in my opinion, that's probably the best way to get more hardcore content in Guild Wars 2 is to allow every game mode to be played by the casual player base. As it stands right now, the reason why raid development is almost gone, the same with World versus World, is because player engagement in those game modes is very low. So ArenaNet are looking at their statistics, and then what do they go ahead and do? They just play the casual content, right? And so what you need to do is you need to get the casual players into the other other games.
In easy mode, they need to actually support dungeons or other kind of like instance PvP.
I think that dungeons really could do with being remade or deleted, but to be frank, I think it's too late for dungeons at this point. The thing is, raids always already easy mode. No, guys, chat, please stop saying this. Like, this is really awkward. Don't say that it's easy mode, right? Just imagine. Look, okay, for you in the chat right now, okay, it is probably almost impossible for you to run 100 meters in under 10 seconds, right? For Usain Bolt, it is not very difficult, okay? Right, to run 100 meters in under 10 seconds. Difficulty is relative, and for the majority of the Guild Wars 2 player base, and for the majority of the Guild Wars 2, honestly, the modern gaming community, right? Doing those raids is borderline impossible and unobtainable. It doesn't matter what you feel about that. Yes, maybe they're really bad at the game. They probably are a little bit bad at the game, okay? But it doesn't change the fact, okay, that those raids are borderline impossible for people who are very casual players.
Mr. Teapot,
hit me.
I did raids as a PvPer, not because I wanted to, but because it was shoved up my ass by my community.
Okay.
That's what it took for me to do raids, right? I didn't do them because I wanted to. It was purely shoved up my ass. So like, big raid, big raid, big raid, big raid. I did all the raids. Guess what? I was bored in the beginning and I was bored in the end. Why? Because there was never a point where I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get the best in slot piece so I can poon more noobs. No, it was like, oh, more glitter. Oh, more glitter. Oh, more glitter. More glitter. And truthfully, most people play MMORPGs, even single RPGs, for the consistent getting better as you progress. Guild Wars 2 takes that shit away. It's all a playground of just like, how many monkey bars can you climb? Oh, I did 7. Great. I did 5 monkey bars. Oh, I did all my monkey bars. Who gives a fuck? They're just monkey bars.
Well,
that's it.
But I mean, that's the whole point of Guild Wars 2, though. The whole point of Guild Wars 2 that it's purely skill-driven. It's not vertical progression-driven.
Okay.
The thing about raids is
you want the game to strive, so therefore you just find the problem, right? No one gives a fuck about their skill. They want their rewards, right?
Yes. So there are rewards though. There's loads of rewards in raids. The rewards are great in raids, actually.
Dude, let's be real about this. Those rewards you talk about isn't gonna make me stop fucking my girlfriend to log in to go get a scarf. Will my girlfriend care about my scarf? No. She thinks I'm a loser if I show her the scarf.
But why can't the game just be rewarding about being, for being fun, right?
Where in life do you see I'm just gonna go do it for fun, other than just drinking? Like,
Me.
you go to the bar to just have fun.
No, I play video. No. I play video games for fun.
Come on, homie.
I do not play video games for rewards. I play video games for fun.
Come on, bro. It's only fun if the community's behind you. You love playing for fun when you're playing with somebody that's across the world, having 3 monitors, 1 porn, 1 Netflix, and then Guild Wars 2 as a backup thing if he's bored. And then you're playing with that player in fucking Plat Division, and you're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And your fun is now, idiot! You should have had rotated better! And he doesn't give a fuck because he's stroking his cock on the other fucking right screen.
Yeah, that was me yesterday.
Well, but
That's
seriously,
fun,
though,
dude.
right? I think this problem is a non-issue. I don't think that rewards are a problem. Actually, I think the rewards are actually very good in the game. And I don't play for rewards. I don't play for rewards. And I think the game is fun, and that's what it should be based around. So the actual thing is, you need to make everyone play it, right?
It was fun, dude. It was fun watching players take on 5, take on 10 people with a stealthy rogue, with a warrior, with a DDLE, with the fucking ranger. It was fun watching that. You wanted to be that solo roamer. You liked watching that content. When I come to a stream where they're raiding and they're all stacked on top of each other and it's the same raid over and over and over and over, is that fun? Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, but not 360 days later. It's not fun anymore. It's the same raid. It's the same boss. It's the same conclusion. When a player engages on a 1v2, 1v3, 1v4 and comes on top, you're like, wow, what build is that? How do you do that? How'd you do that? That's where the fun of Guild Wars 2 is. That's what makes players excited. Make people like, oh, I want to be just like Bick. I want to be just like this guy. That's what makes people fun. What?
That's at least where the Twitch community comes from. The players who are looking to learn how to do.
Go ahead. YouTube community too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but if there's no skill to gain, right, because you can just LFR and get the same rewards, then why would they want to go to someone's stream to learn
how to what? You cut off.
To learn how to play? Like, why would they go to Sinjoner if they can just get the gizmo by just playing,
right? You know why they have? You know why they come on stream and they go on YouTube? Because they get their asses slapped. And guess what? Eventually, after getting their asses slapped, guess what? They say, no more ass slapping, daddy. I'm coming to your stream to see what's going on to me. And guess what? That's when they learn. And that's where you create a community of players and an environment where streamers thrive, YouTubers thrive, and guess what? We don't have to sit here and beg for content because our content is teaching the plebs, and the plebs thank us back, and it creates an environment of community. We make money, ADA makes money, and then we're all having fun because teaching and learning is fun. But when no one has anything to learn, then where does the fun come from? Teapot, you can't answer this question because you're bored out of your goddamn mind right now.
Yeah, I absolutely can. I can answer it. For the majority of players in Guild Wars 2, what is fun is slowly making a legendary. It is getting a new skin on the gem store. No, it is. Look, you cannot argue.
I'm going to gag myself with this thing, dude. I swear, I'll gag myself with this.
Dude, you cannot argue with this. Yeah.
That's not fun.
Look, guys, you can't disagree with this because this is literally what most of the player base does for fun.
World completion right now to make a legendary for fun.
Yeah, like the most
and on a TeaTime.
Yeah, look, fun for the majority of players is casual stuff. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people enjoy different things in video games. The whole point that I'm trying to get at, and hopefully chat, you've got to let me know if I'm making sense here. The whole point is that we want to, instead of separating ourselves off and dying alone on a hill, we want to reach out to these more casual players and say, hey guys, it's okay, you're welcome here. You can play this too, with stuff like easy mode. Pushing for tutorials in World vs. World. I think an amazing thing for World vs. World would actually be recommended builds and rented gear, right? So you could go in World vs. World on, say, your Guardian, right? And it would give you a free set of gear to play with, right? Okay, like a free set of, let's say, maybe a little bit worse than exotic gear, Minstrel, right? For your Guardian, right? Something like that. People would just stop on the easy mode. That's fine. Okay, look, I realize that a lot of people say this and they think it's like an amazing argument, but it's honestly like the worst possible thing you could say to like debate me. I don't give a fuck if people only do the easy mode. The point is that those players are engaging with raids, okay? Raids, the game mode. If players engage with raids, the game mode, then that means ArenaNet will see that and then develop more raids, okay? I am not forced to fucking play easy mode, okay? I had the same discussion with like Sekiro, right? It makes no sense to me. Like, I am not forced to play easy mode, okay? Right? I can play normal mode, okay? And then that means if you've got casual players playing that, that's absolutely fantastic, right? They're enjoying raids. That means raids get more development, right? Okay? So that's good, right? What's the point then? No, what do you mean what's the point of easy mode? The point of easy mode is so more people play it, so it gets more development. Like, this is like the most obvious fucking point ever, okay? You mentioned casuals are not participating in raids because of bad feels. How do ArenaNet introduce easy mode to alleviate this? Because you just make it unfailable, right? So you can't lose, right? It's oh my god, it's unbelievable. And the same thing can be.
You are kind of correct though, because I mean, there is a lot of people who don't go to Twitch, right, to learn. Like they go there just for the community, right? Like some of the top streamers are just
Can I cut you
lore.
off?
Sure.
Who doesn't go to YouTube to learn? I literally just learned how to fucking cut my grass using YouTube, right? So you're telling me I'm not gonna go?
I'm not saying that that's the only thing you do it for, right? That I'm saying, like, obviously there are the people who are looking to like get competitive, right? But the MMOs have a large range of what people play it for, right? So I agree with Bick, but I also think Teapot is right too, but you guys aren't really arguing. You're just saying, well, my people exist and my people exist, but you both exist.
Well, yeah, but my argument is that what Bick thinks is that everyone should just be like him, okay? And I think that that is a noble endeavor. But instead of just like yelling at people, telling people to be like me, then why not just accept that people are different, okay? Instead of that, and try and work with them for the betterment of the game, right?
Okay, stop.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Yep.
Everybody is like me.
No,
believe it or not. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. Everybody, quit laughing, son of a bitch. I am. Okay,
Hey,
everybody.
I'm having fun. Like, this is content. I'm having a good time.
Everybody is like me, because somewhere in your miserable lives, you are trying somewhere in your life hard. You're either a mother, a father, a doctor, a teacher, a player play sports. You are trying somewhere in your life, and you're succeeding. That's what you're doing in life, right? So therefore, if you and I have one common goal that we try somewhere in our life, we both accept failure, because to succeed, you have to learn how to fail. Failing and losing is this, and failing and winning is the same thing, because you have to try to do so, right? So if you are a winner somewhere in life and you come to Guild Wars 2 and you fail, you accept failure because you know for a fact you weren't a doctor without going to school first. You weren't a mechanic without getting a certificate first. So therefore, you have to fail until you get your certificate of succeeding, which is your knowledge. Am I wrong?
Well, I am very much like that. But what would you say to someone who has who works like a really stressful job, is like grinding out their PhD or their thesis or whatever? Okay, and they don't want to try in Guild Wars 2. They just want to chill out. They just want to relax. They want to run. They want to leave that. They want gaming to be their relax time, right? Their chill time.
So wait a minute,
right?
You're telling me rich people, right, are the only people in the world that are going to be able to enjoy games then? Because everybody else is so stressed out in real life, we can't make games anymore because John in Alaska dug a hole all night so his polar bear didn't freeze to death. Therefore, no one in America can have fun because he dug his fucking hole for the polar bear. No fun for anybody. No fun.
No, that's not what I said at all, though, is it, Vic? Bro. Right? Okay. What I said is that people use games for different things, right? And some players just want to play a casual game and relax in their gaming, and some people want to try hard and want to get good at the game, right? And it's not one or the other, right? Some games are more hardcore, and some have this try-hard potential, and some have both, right? I think WoW is kind of a decent example of this, because you can play WoW pretty casually, but then you also have Mythic Raise, you have Mythic Plus, you have both of them. I think that Guild Wars 2 needs to be a bit more like that and have both. I think you need to have something for the hardcore players, but also let the casuals also experience that content in some way, right? Don't make it so that people are effectively locked out because they don't want to put any effort into it, right? Okay. Most players in Guild Wars 2 don't want to put a lot of effort into the game and want to really, really try hard the game. Most of them just want to log in, mess around in an online world with some other players in it, fight some bosses, get some loot, buy a mount skill or something like that, go on the mount, okay, and fly around on that. And that's what people want for the game. Now, what I'm saying is that we as the community should not be saying, that's stupid, okay, that's trash, right, that's terrible. We have to accept that people, that people think differently, right, and enjoy the game differently. And therefore, we should try and collaborate with them to improve the game for us. Because the thing is, Bick, okay, the game is driven by capitalism, right? And we are not the majority of Guild Wars 2's income. I am actually very much, like yourself, I would say. I do play games to try and be good at the games and to try and win. But the thing is, this is not a battle you cannot defeat the casual players because they are producing, okay, the vast majority of the income for Guild Wars 2, right? You have to try and convince ArenaNet that it's worth it. Now, I think there's a really good argument for that. I think it does build hype around the game in particular. You can use that to generate more sales and get more players into the game overall, right? Through hardcore content. Oh my God, he's eating the fucking microphone. Are you 63% energy right now? Like, what's the energy percentage right now?
I'm going to that point of 70 right now. I'm trying to lower it down.
Okay, all right, yes, 70%. Okay, that's good. That's good. Seriously,
that's what you're saying.
yeah, no, I think I want everyone to be happy. That's the thing. I want everyone to be happy, right?
All right. So, last night I officially got a girlfriend. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that.
I officially am dating another girl now. And when her and I go into the bedroom, it's her duty to make me happy. Okay, it's not the duty.
Shit, we're banned.
It's not the duty of Teapot or Guild Wars 2 Ben to make everybody happy. It's not about who gives a fuck if you're happy or not, right? Your happiness is different than my happiness, right? I like to explode. It makes me happy. That's what makes me happy. Stroke and explode, right? That's what makes me happy. Now, that's in PvP. That's in anything in life, right? So to sit here and say that what's going to make me happy is to be involved in a entry level community, that's bullshit. Because that's not going to make me happy. If anything, that's going to make me sad, right? If I want to evolve myself as a player, I'm going to ask myself, what does it take to make an MMORPG work? A community of players, which is a guild. Guild Wars 2 is a lonely feeling of a guildless meta event game. You want to create an environment of players, right, that want to get better themselves. Make guilds mean something. You can't make Guild Wars 2. You can't make Guild Wars 2 better by making it easier. It's going to make it worse. If anything, raids will no longer be communicated. People will just log into LFR, queue, do their LFR shit, do it for like a month straight, then never come back to it until the new raid win comes done.
Good. I mean, that's fine. That's fine though, right? That doesn't matter as long as people are. That's what people do with open world, dude. They play it, right? Then they log out until the next thing comes through. Right? It's not. Look, that's the same in like every game. All the examples that you give, right, for what a game should be, like classic WoW. The exact same thing happens with the vast majority of the players. Okay, the vast majority of players in WoW don't grind Mythic Plus. They don't grind raids out. They just do the LFR.
You're telling me people in WoW don't do Mythic Plus?
No, not the majority of players. No way. Not like the high tier.
So what
stuff.
Again? What does that have? What does that have? Okay. So if you go to a restaurant, right, and somebody doesn't order fucking your favorite chicken, should you not order your favorite chicken?
No,
dude, these points are so fucking, it's so stupid because somebody doesn't do it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, right? There's levels of content for everybody.
The thing is,
he doesn't eat the chicken.
No, Vic, you're agreeing with me.
Fuck the chicken. I'm not eating this shit.
Vic, you agree with me then. You're agreeing with me. Right? The whole point is that you want to make it so that everyone can, you don't want, you can have both all these things, all these dishes at the restaurant, right? Okay, but imagine if the restaurant only sold, right? It's only sold chicken, right? And 90%.
Why do you have to go to that point, dog? Because you keep saying that there's level of competition. When WoW Vanilla was out, dude, did everybody raid in WoW Vanilla? No, it was a level progression.
Yeah, but
you can't get everybody to do all the content. It's impossible. You just have levels of tier of content.
You know, I'm at a point, but honestly, at this point, I'm too scared.
Yeah. No, we're bringing an Envy off. Oh shit! Wait, what happened? Oh, I think he's gone. Wait, is Envy gone? Oh shit! Oh no, he's back. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Like, Discord just glitched down again. But no. This is the point. Tiered content is exactly what we want, right? We want it so that raids are accessible to casuals, because then you get more raids, right?
Okay, are raids hard now?
No, I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah, they're hard. Are you kidding me? Last night we pugged someone who was doing like 2k DPS.
Okay.
It's hard on
Envy.
NA because people eat crayons and wear helmets and have to wear floaties. They drink soup so they don't fucking drown on their dinner table.
Oh, John!
Yeah, well,
Oh, that was rude.
what?
Sorry, man. Pug on NA is rough, man. I linked Teapot's guy. They called me elitist.
Oh my
Like Teapot.
god.
I can't see
It's like
Envy.
a friendly guy. It's the thinking man's guide. You're an elitist, Envy.
I can't see Envy.
Envy has
I'm here.
disappeared.
Wait,
I think the video.
hold on.
Yeah, there we go.
Just
What about
re-enable
that?
cam.
There we go.
My shit's freaking out.
But look. For most players, raids are hard. Okay. Now, I want. No, we're not doing this because we're going around in circles. I'm cutting this shit off. Right? Envy. What is your point?
Listen.
Let's go.
My point is this. It goes back to drug dealer mentality.
Ooh.
Hey,
If
Envy,
you
I'm sorry.
give people a sniff, if you give
Envy.
someone a bite, they want more. If you
Envy, I'm
give
sorry.
someone easy, if you give someone easy raids, easy PvPs, maybe baby ATs, I don't know what you want to call them, but if you give people a way to get into Guild Wars 2 has a pretty steep learning curve when you first get started. It goes straight up. It's not like you go into a story mode as a thief, you get one shot, you're dead. You're like, I can't even do the intro mode. So if you give people a little bit to get in, to get warmed up, you will get people that they want to go get good at Ranger. They want to watch Bick and be like, yo, this guy is thrashing people in plat. I want to get there. But they have a way to get to it without just going straight into it and getting demoralized because you have people like Vallun who sit on side note and just wreck you. But my point is that we need content that is, and it's a casual game. You can make hardcore stuff. Give somebody a little bit of something to get into, then expand on it. Like, we get 1 CM but 3 easy modes. You bring people into it. Then, if you have more people raiding, you can go pug all day. And, sometimes doing the same mode, playing Condi Renegade this time, playing Heel Scourge this time, I find that fun to me. I can repeat it if it's, I don't want to get into the repeatable conversation, but I think having more stuff in ranked, more stuff in raids, more stuff in fractals, and a way for easier people to get into it, to bring our little casual Care Bear community that has a little soft Peepo blanket into more of the hardcore scene of the game.
Yeah, and
But
that.
like this,
Oh yeah, go ahead, Val. Yeah.
isn't this argument just kind of like saying that the game is fine as it is? More casual content is what they're already doing.
No. It's a slight distinction there. What we're saying is, Vallun, is that we want to adapt the hardcore content so it's very easy to get into and more accessible. As it stands right now, a lot of people don't like a lot of people don't like PvP, right? Because they just kind of get splattered, right? Okay, and I think maybe the balance makes it a little bit unfun with like the ultra burst stuff as well. In World vs. World, people don't really get the point and they find it really boring, right? So okay, let's address that and let's help people get into it, because I don't think World vs. World is boring at all. I think the fights are really good. Like dueling is really good if you're into that sort of thing, right? Let's help people get into that. People don't want to have to like get a proper gear set, right? They find it annoying to have a proper gear set for World vs. World. Okay, let's address that, right? Like, how can we fix that? People really struggle to get into raids because you don't have to you don't have to learn a rotation, right? They don't want to learn a rotation. Okay, let's fix that. Let's add an easy mode, right? And then if you have people engage with this content, that's going to allow ArenaNet to make more of it, and that means if there's overall more content accessible to the average player in Guild Wars 2, right? So they've got more hype around the game because they're making more raids, they're making more PvP, they're making more World versus World. Okay, that's going to build the profile of the game. That's going to make the game feel more alive again, and that's how they generate the more revenue, right? Because there's more stuff to do for the average player in the game, right? So the game feels alive, more people play the game, okay? More people buy stuff, right? And then that's easy money for ArenaNet, right? I think that having a live hardcore scene is a really good thing for a game in terms of its profile, okay? And it's really good to make the game seem alive and, build a bit of a community, because I think the community is decaying, right? Because the idea of a community is irrelevant in Guild Wars 2 as it stands right now, because the vast majority of the content is way too easy. It's just not relevant.
So, you want to talk about disconnect?
Let's go.
The 1 to 80 is the most disconnectful content there is, which trains most players on how to play Guild Wars 2. In a perspective of what am I looking forward to, right? I can say in WoW, from 1 to 120, there's very little disconnect. those abilities that you use in bosses from 1 to 120, you'll use the same exact abilities in WoW. In Guild Wars 2, 1 to 80 has absolutely nothing to do with the actual gameplay. I mean, if you're a Berserker Ranger, baby, pew pew, easy, long dick style, from 1 to 80 on every single world boss in Guild Wars 2, and then you try to take that same build, same gear into a raid, Berserker Ranger, baby, him will be you dead, because you won't even have what it takes or even the skill set to be able to even complete the first pull in that raid.
Not if you play well. Not if you play well. You could play Longbow Ranger.
I'm sure you'll play well. I'm 100%. I am sure that you'll play well. I'm sure you'll play well. I've done these raids, and these raids are completely a disconnect from what the actual 1 to 80 is, and then what the rest of the game is like in Guild Wars 2. It's complete disconnect. That is one of the main problems I've discussed when I first came on TeaTime, and I said the first player experience of Guild Wars 2 is absolute garbage. You don't learn anything about the game until you get your first mount. That's after you pay. And that's when you actually get to know what the game is about. But it won't train you to get a proper gear set, a proper rotation, because you don't really have anywhere to do this other than the fractals. But you have to go for like weeks of getting fucking purple gear to get that stuff done. And because most players will say, "Okay, my gear isn't ready for that. My gear isn't ready for that. I'm not going to go in there with green gear or orange gear. My gear is not ready for that." And if you do the first tier of fractals, I mean, they're so fucking easy. They're way too easy. There's not really competitive.
Like, I don't think that they should make the top end easier. They should make the bottom end a little bit more steep, right? You should have to learn the game while you're playing it, not just like, oh, I'm gonna just go what's the word I'm looking for? Just like easy mode all the way up until 80 and then do easy mode raids. No, you should have to learn all the way, and then raids will be fine once you get there. And that's how WoW is, right? Because when you're leveling up, if you pull 2 mobs, you're gonna die. So like you have to learn, like
not in modern WoW,
rotation while you're leveling, because you have to learn how to efficiently kill the mobs. Because if you're low HP after you kill the first mob, then you can't take the next mob.
That's definitely true in older versions of WoW, but much less so in modern WoW.
The way Vallun is standing next to that train is exactly what's happening in Guild Wars 2 right now. Everybody's joining that board of that train where basically they're all getting on board, and Vallun is sitting there by himself still playing Guild Wars 2 while everybody else is playing something else. That is exactly what's happening in Guild Wars 2. And then the train comes back, and you think it's the admins coming out of the train to create more content, but they're not. They're just taking his credit card for standing still. And that's what's happening in Guild Wars 2. There's the content that needs to be fixed is a higher steep of commitment for players that first enter and join, just like Envy just said. And you want to make it easier for them, Teapot. What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you, bro?
Because I want to create that ramp, right? I want to have that bridge. That's why you make it easy. I think reworking the leveling experience would be a really good idea, but I just don't think it's really that practical with how Guild Wars 2 is actually designed. If you look at the overall design of the game is set up so that individual contributions don't really matter in open world, and I don't think that's actually really rectified. It will always be face roll because of just how the game is. The way to do it is to actually create instance content that is it increases in difficulty, right? And also, I ultimately, I think you need to understand, you need to teach the players what the abilities, what the mechanics of the game are. I think the game, people need to understand what boons, conditions are and stuff like that. I think there needs to be a general understanding, a general tutorial on like what all the boons do, what all the stats do, and also weapon skills. Like, what does a weapon skill do? Like, for example, there are a lot of players who are running around with like condition gear on a build that should be power, right? Because they don't really understand what it is in a way, right? The same with break bars as well,
If the WoW example isn't good, look at Guild Wars 1. The factions had a really good tutorial, and it was very seamless, right? You go into the monastery or whatever, and you learn how all the new abilities work because you go into the training session. and it shows you how, cripple works. It shows you how to heal allies because it gives you these situations, right? But you never go into those situations in Guild Wars 2 while you're leveling because why would you need to? So no one ever learns how to support their allies.
And that's what I'm saying. I think you need like a tutorial raid wing, okay? You need a tutorial raid wing that says something like, okay, right, on this boss, you're going to need to do a lot of damage, right? Okay, so you're gonna want quickness and might. Like you're gonna want 25 might. You're gonna want quickness and stuff like that. You're gonna want fury. You're gonna want to take skills that buff your damage, right? And then after that, the game should tell you to basically read your abilities, right? It should highlight some important abilities for you, that sort of thing, so people can learn the game, right? The snowman's there. Look, I called this from the start. Like, the snowman raid was so fucking good. That ArenaNet, if you can hear me, put that in the game permanently, okay? Why? Because it's exactly what we need in this game. That was a raid. It was a raid level encounter. It was 10-man. It had an enrage timer even, I think, actually. It had more mechanics than a lot of raid bosses, and almost everyone could do it. And I think it would actually be really, really helpful for teaching people the game and starting, right, to learn. Okay, No, that's not true, Nike. Okay, they said this on the stream. The success rate for the Snowman raid with 10 people was 95%. Okay, 95%.
What do you mean by success rate?
They killed it. They beat it.
They
beat it.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Once or every raid instance completed.
Every instance. So if you have an instance, right, that has 10 people in it, they beat it 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. They said this on their stream. About this
person. Because what about the people who are farming them, and then like the people who go in once and then never complete it? Like it's kind of like a representation misinterpretation.
I mean, it's slightly skewed, but look, if you had 10 people in there, you beat it 95% of the time. That's exactly what it is.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll make a really good tutorial. Now, I really want you guys to understand that in most tutorials, people hit next because they're eager to play the game. I don't know if most people read the tutorial, but most people will go to a tutorial, be like, next. I don't know how to do that. I've been playing my MOS for years, blah, 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 right? To next and then skip the entire thing. If you think that one tutorial, which is a waste of money, is going to fix the raid wings, etc., it's not. What's going to fix the raid wings and all these other things that we talk about is to create an environment where the open world casuals are expected to participate and not feel like it matters if they go AFK. Because just like you said, if you go into a world boss encounter and you go AFK, it probably doesn't matter. If you go into a smaller environment where, you go AFK in like a, 10-man group, it probably won't matter because it's too easy content. The entire thing is easy as fuck. And then what happens once you get to endgame, you get to the raids, the easy becomes impossible because you're absolutely an imbecile because the game has never given you any real obstacles.
Well, that's why I would to be honest, that's why I would make this tutorial raid, mandatory before you can get into the next raids.
Dude, look, I'm not saying that your idea is shit, but I think that your idea is only borderline shit because, like, because expecting that one tutorial is actually going to be done well by Guild Wars 2, I don't think that's going to happen. And on top of that, it's not even going to matter because players get, like, I had a girl for a couple of weeks ago. She came into the channel.
Not again.
She was a very hot girl. You guys all saw her. She was a very hot girl. She was a WoW player. I met her on the street. I said, "Yo, come on, check out my scene." I showed her my bedroom. She wasn't interested in that, so I showed her my computer instead. So anyways, I was live broadcasting this, right? And what happened was she started playing Guild Wars 2 for the first time ever, and she says, "What the fuck am I doing? What is this? What am I doing?" I said, "You're playing Guild Wars 2." She says, "I just feel like there's no structure here. What am I doing?" And I said, "Babe, if I play World of Warcraft with you, can we lock this down now?" And the chances of me actually sleeping with her went 50% higher if I actually played World of Warcraft because it gave her structure.
Well, look,
That's what
no,
women want,
like,
structure.
dude, this is
game doesn't give
oh
you structure.
God, man. No,
This game gives you no structure.
This is a bad thing though. No, this is a good thing. Like Guild Wars 2 is well designed and it gives the players freedom. Right, I like one of the reasons I actually enjoyed the leveling experience in Guild Wars 2 so much is because you can do whatever you want. Right, you can do. There's a whole bunch of activities you can do. You don't
What
have.
do you
to,
mean?
You don't
you
have
can do
to.
whatever you want.
You can do exactly.
Okay,
what you don't have to
stop. You don't have to play the game. You just go outside and do whatever you want.
Well,
Play with your friends.
you don't have to follow a quest chain, right? If you get bored of doing it, you can just go somewhere else, right?
Why does it feel like? Why do you want this illusion of freedom where you can do whatever you want? Dude, progression is fun.
Yeah, but you can do that if you want. You can progress if you want.
Teapot, what can you progress from 1 to 80?
Well,
tell Vic.
You what?
Wait, tell me. Go ahead. I'm listening.
You can complete all the maps. You can do all the quests, all the hearts, all the events.
Oh,
how is that any different? Dude, do you know how face roll WoW leveling is? Well, for fun. I don't fucking know, dude.
I don't know about y'all, but most people don't level. We just buy the shit.
Yeah.
Leveling is
that's true.
The last MMO I leveled in was BDO, and that's because you have to.
Wait. Okay, stop.
WoW, it's been classic WoW, not like retail WoW.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Vallun. I appreciate it. Why did you level in BDO the first time? Envy?
Because all you can do is the content. It's level. It's a progression MMO. That's all you do.
Okay, so Envy at level 56, did you know what to do in BDO?
No, there's nothing to do.
In BDO, there's nothing to do.
More levels. They didn't even, dude. BDO didn't even have.
Hold on, stop.
Did you know told you where to go grind?
Did you know your abilities?
Yeah, you just click the thing that lights up. There's no skill in it.
No, in BDO. There's no in BDO.
Yeah.
So you know your skills in BDO.
Oh my god.
Did you know your skills in Guild Wars 2?
Still learning them.
Okay, so how long have you been playing Guild Wars 2 for?
Off and on since the beginning.
Okay, so you've been playing this game for goddamn 7 years, still don't know your abilities, and you've been playing BDO for how long? So you've been playing BDO for like 3 years. You know those abilities.
This game has more skills and abilities though. BDO is very, very simple.
But BDO's obviously forced you to learn those abilities, and you have alts obviously, so you know most of your abilities alts.
Mm-hmm.
Which one has more alts, BDO or Guild Wars 2?
Well, in terms of abilities, Guild Wars 2 is way more because each class has multiple weapons.
Well,
so you essentially say they're different classes.
I clearly played both games, so I know the answer to these tough questions. So, but I'm asking you for the plebs in chat to know this. So, you know almost all your abilities in BDO, and in Guild Wars 2, you're still learning them. Yeah,
because I'm still playing new classes with new weapons.
Okay.
There's that much stuff to play. Where in BDO, it's like you click the spear, you use your Shift E, Shift right click, and click spacebar. That's it.
But the thing is, where can you actually progress in Guild Wars 2 where you need to change all your weapons all the time?
Probably raids or fractals, depending on because in a fractal, sometimes you'll run a focus, but then you don't need the focus pull in the next boss, so you run the shield for the CC.
Okay. So in BDO, you have to progress. Your abilities are used all the time, and practice makes perfect, right? So therefore, you're going to be forced to learn those abilities.
Yeah, because you're just grinding mobs in a circle for hours for no reason. People pay all these Filipinos $250 a month to grind the game for them so they can be competitive. I'm not even kidding.
I'm not lying.
Nobody plays the game anymore.
Look, I'm not saying it's the right way to do. But you have two extremes. The Filipinos are playing the goddamn game in BDO, and in Guild Wars 2, in Guild Wars 2, the bots are playing the game in Guild Wars 2. There's no sense of everybody's bodying Guild Wars 2. Everybody's hiring the Filipinos in BDO. Like, where's the medium where people actually play their accounts? Where? Hopefully, WoW Vanilla.
Oh my god! Look.
Well, let's be clear here. I actually will not play WoW Vanilla. I think it's shit.
Same.
But I think there are some good things.
No,
Valid. I always knew you were a man of culture.
Let's bring these memes here then. Okay, let's really bring these memes home. Look, so what we need to do to get more players into hardcore content and therefore get more hardcore content for us is we need to teach the players how to play the game. We need the game to teach the players how to play the game, right?
Great.
Okay, so what are we going to do about that? I think the best way to do it is honestly the ArenaNet need
make a Bic. Have Bic make a
I don't know.
Come on.
It's really difficult to do in my opinion. This is a really difficult task because of how in Guild Wars 2 people like to play how they want, right? And so ArenaNet are never going to say, right, in a raid you need to be a tank, right? Okay, I was like, that's never going to be the case. So you need to be a bit loose with this. Like, you need to go into a raid, and then it needs to say, okay, for this boss, you need a tank, you need healers, and you need buffers, and you need DPS. And then when players get to level 80, they should have a general understanding of what the loose roles are in Guild Wars 2. That is to say...
I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay, go.
Why do you need a tank, DPS, and healers?
What do you mean, why? Because the boss does damage and it follows people with toughness. That's because of the mechanics.
What happens if you kill the boss? What happens when you kill the boss? What do you get?
Get the fat loot.
What loot is that?
You get gold and you get some skins. You get some ascended gear.
I don't want to raid.
Do you mean it gives you loot that basically is prescribed for those roles?
I don't want to raid anymore because I can do those. I can get all that loot by doing PvP and World vs. World, or even craft it, or just by citing my credit card.
That's really good. That's
raid.
That's good design though. That means you're not forced to play raids. I don't think anyone should be forced to play
if I'm not
raids.
forced, I'm not going to do it then.
Okay, don't. Good. That's fine.
All right, fuck it. So the conversation just ended.
Well, yeah, but it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. A lot of people do want raids.
But you just said 95% of the people don't raid.
They would do it. The reason they don't raid is because it's too difficult. They would do it if it was.
I could really do a stream where I could say I will pay each raider $1,000 if I could pick up them and have them go clear VG in one shot, or even 5 pulls. They wouldn't be able to get past the first reds. They wouldn't be able to get to the boss. The trash would kill them.
Raids.
That's the problem.
People would do raids because raids are better rewards than open world, right? And the vast majority of casual players, right? They play the game for rewards, and they play a lot of open world.
These casual players don't even know the entrance of the thing is, so why would they even fucking do it? I mean, look, your point is mute, bro. These casual players don't want to get better.
Well, no, they don't have to. They don't have to get that much better, just a little bit better.
But I don't want to get better. I'm casual. Well, you've already marked me as casual. Don't fucking try to make me better now, motherfucker. You told me I don't have to get better. Now I have to get better.
No, you don't.
Which one is it?
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? You add a tutorial to help them learn the game. Because right now, people go into it and they just bash their head into it because they don't understand the game very well. So instead of just like yelling at them to get good, why not let's implement some easier raids that have lesser rewards as a bit of a ramp in difficulty up into regular raids. And let's for a start, let's just teach them what you need to do for certain fights, right? There's systems like this in WoW, like the Dungeon Journal. Here's fucking Veil Guardian.
We need a Dungeon Journal big time. I don't know why we don't have that.
Yeah.
And that is something that I think Guild Wars 2 would excel with.
Yeah.
I mean, Vic, you can agree with this. In Vallun, Guild Wars 2's art style, like the pictures they paint, are awesome. We played a whole bunch of MMOs. WoW's art style, not gonna really go there, but like if they could paint if they could paint a really, really cool thing that says, if you do want to raid, here's the boss. This is Soulless Horde. This is what she does. This is what we recommend. But they leave it vague, so it's like, you're not gonna have the exact understanding like WoW does. But it's like, okay, well, clearly there's a CC break bar phase, and the platform keeps falling, and that's really all you get out of it.
Yeah,
I think they would love that.
I honestly think that the problem with players not being able to do stuff is simply because most players have no idea how the game actually works, right? They don't know about boons. They don't really know what might does or what vigor does, or they know what regen does, right? But they don't know what all these things do. They don't understand about healing, because healing isn't relevant anywhere else, right? So you have to introduce players to this stuff gradually. Otherwise, of course, it's not going to work. Of course, people aren't going to be able to do this, right? And I think an easy mode raid that gives you a little bit of reward that you can grind every week if you just want to do that raid, gives you a little bit of reward, maybe some ascended as well. Okay, to be honest, like, I really don't care if casual players get the same rewards as me, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm not a player that wants to have superiority by having access to better rewards. I really don't care about that. I understand that some people do, and that's fine, but I would rather have the game mode be alive, right? Healing is barely relevant in raids, though. That is not true, actually. It's true in good groups, but it's absolutely not in lower level groups, right? It's not the case.
If I was a developer and I was watching this podcast, or if I was just in general playing my own game, I would say stay on course, keep scamming Envy for $500 when he's bored and he's on his weekend, right? Don't do anything, because anything that they can do, guess what? It's not going to revive this zombie game. This community of players that wanted to get better is playing something else. They're all
when Bless failed, this game went nuts. If WoW Classic fails, are we gonna get a volume 2?
No.
Are we gonna get the repeat?
No.
WoW Classic Refugee?
Ajax has already gotten his fingers in them. WoW.
There was an article that said Guild Wars 2's third expansion was Bless's failure.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see the game had an expansion because Bless did so bad.
I don't see the point of making any content for Guild Wars 2 that's hard or teaching the community when the own developers don't even know how to play their own game. I mean, if you watch the podcast most of the time when they're playing the game, their builds are all wrong.
We just raided with John, and I did PvE raids the one weekend, and the very next weekend we did PvE World raids, and we had a great time. And he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
Envy, you're still learning your abilities. I'm not trying to expose you, dude.
I'm playing a brand new class.
Dude,
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's not really true. Like the raid team can beat all the raids and all the CMs, I think, or most of the CMs at least. But honestly, it's irrelevant as well. Actually, just because they can't beat the game. Like most of the developers are very casual, right? Like you're probably talking about the stream where they tried to do raids, right? But that's not. But
the thing is,
those developers were just like the art team, right, or like the writing team. Of course, why are they good at raids? Like, it's irrelevant, right? And that's not really true. Like Ben is actually decent at PvP. He's plat. He plays World vs World. He plays correctly as well. He's got a good Ellie build that he's playing, right? Like this isn't exactly true. I mean, it's also irrelevant as well. Like this entire thing is not really that important if the devs can do it, right? You know,
isn't that the kind of like the issue is like the devs know the game because they designed it. Like they don't really have to sit there and grind it because they've been designing it this whole time. They know how to beat the boss, so even if they're casuals, they can beat it. And that's how raids are right now. Like you say, they're easy. It's just that no one bothers to learn them because it takes a while to learn them. So they never get to the point when they can just farm it for free.
And this is where compromises are really important, and this is where Bick is completely right, and you yourself as well, Vallun, right?
I'm right. Hear the chat. I'm right,
dude. Bick, I know that you actually know this, and we kind of hammer up, but you know that I actually almost exclusively agree with you, right? I just disagree with how we should go about it, right? Like with your actual points, I'm almost always completely with you on all of this stuff, right? I am a competitive player. I love competition. I like improving in whatever I'm doing. I'm competitive in literally everything, right? Okay, I agree with you on basically everything. The implementation of and what we should do is where we disagree, right? Just to kind of set that clear there. But there is a huge disconnect between like what most people do in Guild Wars 2 to what people don't do in Guild Wars 2, right? Open world is nothing like raids, fractals, PvP, right? And you enter into those game modes, right, from open world. And the thing is, right, I do think that some more challenging. What's up, dude?
TeaTime, I'm live right here, and I'm talking to a casual. His name is Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, do you like to raid? No. Mr. Chair, do you like to get better? No. Mr. Chair, do you like to PvP? No. Mr. Chair, what do you like to do? Nothing. Okay, Mr. Chair, go to hell. That's what you do to casuals. You get them the fuck out the game.
No,
you ruin the game.
No, you don't, Big. No. All right, we're increasing the energy level. Okay. No, you didn't. If you get rid of the casuals, you end up fucking dead. Okay? If you remove, look, you cannot. WoW Classic is going to be played by majority casual players. Okay? Every single game is played by a majority of casual players. Right? PvP, mostly casuals play it. Right? Like, no, WildStar is a bad example because it died because of like really bad management of servers in particular, like, and the community's dying. 40-man raids also not that smart, but I don't think WildStar died because of no casuals. To be honest, I don't think that's.
Didn't it die because it was like way too difficult?
It was like ultra difficult as well. Yeah,
insanely difficult, right?
But I don't think that's why it died. I think the reason it died was because of they kept splitting the community into. They added loads of more servers, right? And when the population spiked, and then when it dropped down, they didn't collate them, right? And then all the servers ended up kind of dead, right? Like that's. I watched a video on this by There was like I watched like a history of WildStar or something, and that's basically what I got from it. So yeah. Oh man. But no, you do not get rid of the casual players. You need them. Okay. If you don't have the casual players, you are fucked. Okay, this is not a hill you want to die on. Believe me. Okay, modern gaming is all about capturing the casual audience. Okay, look. Okay, do you know what the best-selling game of all time is?
What?
Minecraft. Which is a game for everyone, right? Do you know what some of the most? Do you know what's the best-selling console basically is? It's like the Wii.
What?
It's the Wii, which is marketed at families, casual gamers, right? This is this is welcome to modern memes, guys. Okay, like the gaming community is pretty casual, right? How about cater casual make a good game at the same time? That's what I advocate for, base. Let's fucking go. Wait, has Minecraft actually added raids? Dude, that's fucking cool. I like that shit.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I mean, is that true? That's fucking high energy, dude. I like it. But anyway, don't get rid of the casuals. Keep them around. We need them, all right? Let's teach them, and if they want to, then they can access the raids as well, right? And if more people are playing the raids, then you'll get more raids. If more people are playing PvP, then you'll get more development on PvP. And the thing is, you don't need everyone to be hardcore to accomplish that. You just need people through the door and enjoying the content. And with that, then you'll grow the game. I completely agree with Bick, with Envy, with Vallun, right? You can construct a bigger community and raise the profile of the game on Twitch, it's a vicarious circle, not a vicious circle, right? It will just snowball from there, right? If you have more people playing the raids and stuff like that, then yeah, maybe they will want to watch streamers, right? If there's more people playing PvP, maybe they will want to watch streamers so they can get better, right? If Guild Wars 2 rises up on Twitch, right, then it's actually huge, right? The profile of the game can be massive, right? If a streamer plays a game, like a really big streamer consistently plays a game, that can actually make the game, right? Like they can actually just like carry a game so fucking hard if people get on the train, right, and carry it. Like it's ridiculous, right? If people actually stuck with it, and yeah, that could be Guild Wars 2. But but the way you have to do this is, I think you actually have to repair the systems within the game. And to be honest, it's tutorials, it's easy mode, it's accessibility, right? Because the game is actually difficult. It's probably the hardest MMO, I want to say, mechanically to play. I think that would be fair. Maybe someone in the chat knows a really, really hard MMO. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with stuff outside of stuff like WoW, Final Fantasy, etc. Right, and BDO. But
Final Fantasy's not hard.
Yeah, but I didn't think that Guild Wars 2 is quite a challenging game mechanically, right? And as a result of that, then I think that the lacking in tutorials, in stuff like easy modes, is actually, it needs to go further, right? We need more of this sort of thing to actually ease people into the other content, right? And teach the community as a whole what's going on. Because to be frank, if you ask the community, 90% of the community, what their abilities actually do, or if they understand the stats, if they understand boons, if they understand conditions, most people wouldn't be able to tell you, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, that's okay. But you're really going to struggle in building a raid community when most of the community does not understand the basic core game mechanics, right? In the game, right? It's just not going to work.
I went to a deli once, and there was this guy who was asked me what I wanted, and I said I wanted some specific cheese, and he started talking about his games, and he told me he played Guild Wars 2, and he told me he was a casual. I told him stop touching my cheese, and I asked for the manager, because casualness can lead to a disease, right? And spreads throughout the community. So therefore, if a casual touches another casual, it's almost like a zombie effect. It actually kills the entire game, right? You don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything. None of us want to do anything. We just want to log in and fucking attack this boss, get a shit glitter, and then log off. That was fun. Don't fucking touch my cheese, bitch.
Like,
step away from my cheese, and that's exactly what's happening in
Dude.
Guild Wars 2. No one wants to do anything.
Look, this is such a like you're memeing yourself so hard here. Okay, listen, buddy. Right, most players in every game are casual, right? Okay,
I'm a casual.
Okay, in classic,
I ate the cheese.
So okay, you think is classic WoW is classic WoW a good game in your opinion? Like,
in terms of what? Because combat, no. Do I think community-wise and guild-wise? Yes. I think it's the basis of what most MMORPGs are structured from.
Right. Now, here's the thing. Most of the players in Classic WoW are going to play very casually.
Yeah, so
it's not...
Eating all your cheese, motherfucker.
So here's the thing, right? It's not the casuals you don't want touching your cheese.
No. You don't want the casuals making the content for the fucking deli, right? That's the problem. The deli has to have prime cheese. You have to have the cheese that only served with wine for the fucking winners, right?
Yes.
Then you have the cheese that's served for like the moderate, and then you have the cheese for the fucking scrub rats, and then you have the trash can cheese that no one else wants to eat, right? The tiers of cheese. The deli has to make the content for all the tier levels.
Okay, and here,
you don't have to exclude the casuals. You just shit on the casuals.
No, you don't. No, why?
Listen to me. You need the casuals. Listen, when I used to do 1vx content, right? I would say, thank you so much for making me look good, you scrubs. That's why we need your community, so I can step on you. 1vx, easy. Next video coming soon, right? That's why I needed them in the community. Because they're the placeholders for the content, right? You need those people in the community. That's why Ninja needs all those plebs that can't aim, right? So you can step on them and make content out of them. Easy for Ninja. Easy for anybody that's a good player. Am I wrong, Cinder? Am I wrong? Anybody else good? You need those people in the community. And those people get fucking scrubbed, destroyed. And guess what they do? They go on fucking Twitter and say, oh, that's the guy that fucking anally penetrated me. That's the guy. I want to be just like him.
Well, look, but here's the thing. That prime cheese at the deli is really expensive, right? And the thing is, people buying the slightly cheaper cheese is what funds the expensive cheese, right?
Again, getting scrubbed on, right, and having levels of tiers does not mean the casuals aren't going to pay. The casuals are stupid. They're like, it's got to be the scarf. The scarf made him better. It has to be the scarf. Look, he wears the scarf. I'm buying the scarf. It has to make me better. And they'll actually think dodge jump is going to make him better. They'll macro the dodge jump because the spacebar doesn't work. They'll do that shit. It doesn't matter, bro. You have to have tiers of content. You have to have a leader. You have to have Naru the Necro teaching all the plebs how to play.
But you already do have that. You already do have that.
No, you don't.
Yes,
you do. Don't.
Yeah, you
do.
do.
Guild Wars 2 is the community where, like, the mom that works 7 jobs, right, goes in Guild Wars 2 and tells me, you're wrong. You are wrong, Bick. You should have stayed home the whole time. Never moved.
That's the case in every game.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. In World of Warcraft, you can't do 10v10 without having a proper setup on Discord, unless you're doing YOLO RPGs. You can't do 3v3s unless you are on a team that you specifically set up. You can't do v2v2 unless you're on a team specifically set up. Guild Wars 2 needs a progression system rather than a system of RNG. Join in. I get Bick. You get 3 other people that have no idea what the fuck to do, and then 1 AFK and a bot. That's not a competitive PvP. And then you're talking about the what do you call it? The ATs. ATs don't have enough competition in them to actually have a new blood enter.
The European team is actually really competitive right now.
20 teams.
Dude, 20 fucking teams is a lot. Okay, dude, that's 100 people who are actually being really competitive in the game. There are actually a good chunk of good teams in Europe right now. Okay. For Guild Wars 2. Okay. NA is a bit less competitive, but that's honestly because of Team USA existing makes NA less competitive because people don't even try.
Yeah.
I think what we really need to do is just change reality. We need to make it so that we're not catering to the casuals because there are no casuals. We need to make it so that people log on to Guild Wars 2 because that's their living. This is like a communist society now, and if they don't log on, and get to a certain point and do their Kadim CM clears, they're gonna they're not gonna get their day's pay. This is just how it needs to be for us to get hardcore content. Otherwise the casuals are just gonna.
Can we say 100 players are competitive? Like one more time, so it's on record, please.
In terms of I would say there are in Europe. Yeah, let's say there are like 100 competitive players. I would say that's I'd be tempted to say there's more. There's more than 100 people who care about winning in EU. Yeah, sure.
Can we say 150 people is a lot of people?
I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's a lot.
It's like a multi-million player game, and there's not even that many competitive teams at the upper level either.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's. I'm not saying it's a lot. The PvP scene is really small right now.
Everything's really small.
Well, yeah, the Guild Wars 2, the hardcore scene for Guild Wars 2 is pretty small. Yeah.
The hardcore level of Guild Wars 2 isn't existent.
Dude, the whole point is that the point of this tea time is that we're talking about how we can fix that.
But it's not how we can fix it. It's on how can we change the mentality of the people.
Yeah, I agree. And that's
change the mentality of the people is never going to be changed if you accept them as they are. It's like having a girl that's 300 pounds. You can't accept her like that. You have to say no.
Dude, what the fuck?
You have to say no. You have to change, babe.
Oh my god.
Run. 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 Run, 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 run. You got to get better. Run, run, run. 50 pounds lost, 250. We got 50 more pounds, babe. Let's go. Run, motivate them. Motivate them. Let's go. You got to be like me. Move, run, run, run. Motivate,
okay,
motivate.
No, okay. No. Dude, we got to take the energy level down. Okay. Holy shit, dude. Look, but the thing is, right? I think you can be nice to people. I think you don't have to. You don't have to force people to change. I don't think it's necessary. You can have options, right? You don't have to force people to do this stuff. You can offer them it, and you can teach people the game, right? Okay, right? Instead of just like yelling at them and telling them to get good and flaming them for look how bad you are at the game. There's no need to do that. You can just be chill.
Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't do that? Everybody does that. Every single streamer I've done to this day that's PMA does that on every single game. That's very normal.
Well, no, I'm not saying
every coach does that. Every fucking coach in the football does that. Son, you tell me you're not good. Get on the ground and give me 20. You were so. I mean, that's everything. Every competitive atmosphere is like that. What do you mean? Where's this pussy ass mentality where you can't talk to them? What do you mean? It's toxic for a reason. The army generals, get on the ground and give it. I mean, come on, bro. What is this? We men here. We go into competitive atmosphere. Guess what? Competition also equals toxicity, and that comes from your own teammates. Come on, bro.
Wait, but why does it have to be like that?
Because you eat too much soy, bro. It's making you a soy boy.
Well, why?
It's making you a soy boy, bro.
Why does it have to be toxic? Why can't we just all be friends and help each other?
Everybody ends up being the same thing. You stepping on my toes because you're not competing, right? Just like I was streaming a couple weeks ago, and somebody joined my team. They're like, "Vic, you want to have fun? Are we winning or not?" He's like, "Sure." Never played the game once. This is fun. Get off my team. Don't you ever come to my team again expecting to win. You gotta practice. That's why they call it practice. You practice. You practice, and you're gonna be respectful to your teammates. That's at every level. Imagine playing football or soccer and never throwing a football or kicking a soccer ball in your life, and the thing that's gonna be fun. No, that's disrespectful to the rest of your team. You practice before you enter those things. They make unranked. They make all these damn game modes. If you don't get better, no game mode is gonna make you better. No game mode. You have to want to be better yourself. If you are saying it's okay to be a shitball, then great. It's okay to be a shitball. Then the community is going to be even more toxic.
What?
What?
Well, but then why don't we help them practice? Why don't we help the players practice instead of throwing them in the deep end? In the analogy here, you're basically telling someone who is trying to lose weight that they need to go and like run a marathon day one, right? That's.
So right now,
I don't want to. If you do that, right, that will actually be detrimental to the person's health.
So I'm training right now, and that's exactly what don't we do, right? So when you're training somebody, right, when somebody comes into your gym and wants to train with you, they say, "I want to get better," and you say, "No problem, come on in." And guess what? They're on their own level of getting better, right? They're not gonna go play with the best players. Or train with the fucking pro athletes in a fucking backyard gym. Come on, bro. Let's be real about this.
What?
What?
Okay. Look, boys. Look. Okay. Vic, you agreed with me. All right. And what an amazing place to end, guys. Yeah, Vallun, I'll give you the final word, my friend. Seeing as we've been just watching the files. Vallun and Envy get the final word on this. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Oh man, Val, what do you think?
I'm kind of confused because we started off with the topic of why ArenaNet should make more hardcore content, and now we've kind of just made it back to why they should make more casual content.
Don't talk about me because I never said that. That was these two plebs. That wasn't me.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree, but
just to slightly interject there, I think the way that TeaTime went, it was actually fairly fluid. Actually, it started as why, and I think we gave pretty solid arguments for why, and then it became how, right? Like how can we make ArenaNet implement this, right? And then that's why we're discussing about making it more accessible, right? Because making it more
start out with the foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. Like making it more accessible then allows more of the player base to participate in the, have a ramp up into the content, right? And then because more people are enjoying the content, that's when you can get more hardcore content, right? Which then funnels back into the start, right? Okay. Where it's like, okay, now we have more hardcore content and this will benefit the game, right? I think that's
I think we need to put a timestamp as that's the TLDR of this whole team.
I think, you know what, guys? We might have to do a YouTube comment to explain the situation. Okay, that means we'll have more easy content. No, it doesn't. Oh my god, no, Carly, no. Sorry, I'm sorry, Carly. You are. I'm actually banning you because that is. I don't like those words. Okay. Oh my god, no, that's too stupid. Okay. Okay. Holy shit.
Get him out.
Yeah. No.
Get out of here.
No. I'm sorry.
Loser.
Okay. No. That's too. That's not. You have failed to pass the bar of intelligence, okay? No. I'm sorry, dude, okay? Holy shit. No, it doesn't, okay? They're not going to only start making easy mode raids. That's not the point of raids. Otherwise, why would they consistently add challenge modes now? Why are they adding CMs if there's an easy mode, people will only do the easy mode? Then why the fuck are they already adding hard mode? Holy shit! Oh my god, that is not the point! Oh my god. No, but yeah, I agree, Van. We changed. It went differently, okay? It went differently. But, okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a casual and I couldn't keep up with that the whole
yeah. Oh my god. Okay, so wait, Envy, do you want anything you want to say?
I got exposed on this one. Yeah,
yeah, you got exposed.
I'm doing map completion right now for a legendary. I'm currently in a Heart of Thorns meta. Like I am the scum. Nick's gonna step on me. I do PvP. I do the competitive raids. I kind of like it all, but I do think like last night when I was pugging people in the raids, like I mean, people they just the most basic stuff, they were gone. And I think to Big's point and your point, we do need an easier, more tutorial system, way to get people in. Because once you get people in, they keep coming back. We know that. We've seen that. It works in tons of different stuff, not just games. Then your CMs become, more desired. Then ArenaNet says, look, more people are in. Wait, rating is taking off. Fractals are getting further. People went in. You know what? I think we can take a gamble and put a rating gem store item in, or add another CM, or add another wing, or add some more story that pulls in a raid that's optional, but that the raiders really want to do. And then now you have the great storytelling and the directors from the raid side, and the story side come together. I don't know. I want an easy mode and I want more CMs because you get more people in, there's more raiders. And then NA needs it bad because when you look at EU, you get to scroll down the pug list. In A, it's just people selling raids and maybe 1 or 2 groups going at most.
Yep. Okay, so now I do want to say, guys, the stream is not over, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to hop on Discord and maybe we can get some other perspectives on this for a bit of a tea time after show. But this is going to be it for the YouTube section. So it's time for a little bit of shilling now. So, Bick, what would you say your energy level is right now?
I'm about to hit 100% because I'm about to shill.
Yeah, let's go.
Shill.
Bick, tell us.
Hi, guys.
Lay it down. 100% energy. Let's go.
My name is Bick, and I'm here to fuck your wife, Lauren. And your wife is this chair.
That's it.
All right, there you go. That's Big the Snake on Twitch. You can watch some gym streams. You can watch some Sniper Soul Beast streams. Be sure to check that out. Okay, look, Bick is fucking funny, dude. Okay, you got to check that shit out. Holy shit. I love the energy Bick brings to the stream. I wish he would stream more Guild Wars too, actually. Like, Bick really brings, he adds something to the community that I think you won't get anywhere else. So I would definitely recommend it. All right, let's see. Vallun, the debate man. Okay, what's the situation? Tell us about yourself. Where can we find those RP streams?
Twitch.tv/Vallun, and you can find me on YouTube as well. Just search Vallun. Also, gift me a Teapot sub.
Ooh, okay, all right. I like it. I like it. So, yep, check out Vallun there as well. Let's get the streams linked by the bot as well. Okay, and then in the bottom left, okay, kind of been smiling and just been, not really knowing what he got into the entire time. It is Envy, a last-minute savior. Tell us, what are you up to these days? A bit of AT action, bit of raiding, bit of it all?
A little bit of it all. High energy PMA stream. I play a little bit of everything in the game. Not good at any of it, but doing ATs, doing raids, doing fractals, get a bunch of friends into the game. Have a lot of fun learning Renegade for PvE. So yeah. MSLEE TV on Twitch. Come find me.
All right. And then, of course, guys, we are here. Twitch Prime, guys. Twitch Prime. Everyone subscribe right now to this stream, guys. If you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? I hope you enjoyed this tea time. We do one every week, vaguely. And, of course, we'll be back next week for some more exciting memes. I stream every day. Guild Wars 2, PvP, raids, random world versus world, all that stuff. Okay, so yeah. Drop the stream and follow if you enjoyed it. It's all the time. Loads of different guests, loads of different memes. Okay, Vallun gets the sub gift. He gets that fucking gift. There you go. He's now got the, he's got that teapot. Okay, he's got that shit. So yeah, be sure to follow everyone here, guys. Follow the stream. Subscribe to the stream. Get those subs. Get those follows. Let's go. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube and watch all the tea times. And of course,
can we do a song before we leave?
No, we're not doing a song. No, you can serenade us as the stream ends. How about that? There you go. You can do that.
I don't have music, bro. I can't just do it.
Oh man. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Actually, I do have a song.
Okay, go.
I do have a song.
Yeah, do it.
Okay,
yeah,
we're gonna do that song by the Snow White Frozen Queen. What's her name?
What, like Elsa?
I know the Frozen Queen. The Frozen Queen, man.
The Seven Dwarfs.
No, the Frozen Queen, bro. What's her name? I'll sing the song. Ready? 3, 2, 1. This song is dedicated to Vallun because I love you, man. Okay? 3, 2, 1. You're a hoe. You're a hoe.
Oh my god. No, Vic, what the fuck? Okay, guys.
I'm out.
No, we're out. Yeah, no, I'm getting the fuck out. I'm out as well. I'm fucking done with this shit. We're out, boys. We're out. Jesus Christ. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Okay, follow, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you guys have a wonderful time there on YouTube. And I will, we'll see you guys later. Subscribe on Twitch. Got Twitch Prime, guys. If you got Amazon Prime, you can get Twitch Prime. Give me the free sub, okay? I'm getting banned on Twitch now. That's the last tea time ever, guys. So yeah, I love you all very much, okay? Thanks for watching over there on YouTube. And be sure to leave a really mean comment telling me how terrible my choice of guests are. Thanks for watching, guys.